And so we are in the final quarterfinal. But of course, to just naturally repeat myself, Sebastian, he has only played Hera in tournament one time where Hera beat him 3-1. It was a B tier tournament, just $300 prize pool. This is the first big time that these two have faced up against each other. Hera just seemingly winning everything these days. And he's gone for the Italians here. And then we have the Hindustanis for Sebastian. What are we doing with colors, by the way?
I just got Hera in blue and Sebastian in red.
That's fine. That's fine. They both, yeah, that's fine.
I think of both of them as kind of a blue player, but I mean, if they're gonna go like this, then fine, we'll keep it. This is an interesting map, Tristan. Tell me how you feel about this little back woodline here, because the other day, someone had like a whole back woodline complex, and I guess Sebastian's kind of got one too over in the corner. But this isn't a lot for Hera. It's like 2k2 wood. It's not a ton.
I think, well, first off, I don't think Hera will ever see it.
He did. He already saw it.
Oh, he did. I mean, so there's levels to it. We don't have it down to the final tree, but with my discussion with the team, it's like if there's a massive safe area in the back, we call a restart, but that's not enough. Like if Hera game plans around that, I'd be very surprised. So I think what's actually the biggest thing I'm noticing is some of these neutral golds in the middle are right next to each other. So 2 separate 3-tile golds, which sometimes are a bit more spread out. They're next to each other. And then there's also some golds pretty close by the pond there too. So it feels like the middle of the map. First off, they might both end up taking wood there. But then the golds long term, really big.
Yeah, interested to see whether Hera goes to that back area for wood or if he goes forward. Because it's a big risk going forward, right? You're going to have the dock villager there, presumably.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to set up in this area and you believe you can just fight for that area and win that area. But if you want to play safe, which Hera oftentimes does, and doesn't want to take risks early, then going to that back might be really good for him.
So stylistically, right? Obviously, Hera's so good. It feels like for him, he's got that perfect, almost like Leary, the perfect amount of investment needed to get a slight lead, and then he backs off, right? He's never overly aggressive. Can at times be overly defensive, but he gets the job done because you just can't kill him, right? And so with that in mind, I think it's important to talk about what I feel Sebastian's good at. First off, he's not very good at lowering boars, apparently, because I don't know what I'm looking at underneath his TC. But see, Sebastian floods the map with army, right? And so he will delay his TCs. Oh, man, Hera's looking for the Dockville. Sebastian misclicked the deer. Sebastian needs a quick wall. Hera going for the jugular right away. And he's going to kill the villager. Good start.
You know what? At least Sebastian walled in that scout there and got enough damage where he's going to win the scout fight. He gets something out of it, right? A lot of players would have just tried to continue running there. The deer kind of screwed him over with that misclick. I saw that. But like, at least now Hera's kind of ceding map control a little bit by not being able to go out with the scout. And Sebastian sent the other villager forward too. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like he's got 25 seconds of idle TC time right now, which is still not great, but not the end of the world. And his scout is going to win the 1v1.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to lose a Vil and have your dock delayed, this is probably the best case scenario. But to finish my thought, Sebastian does a crazy job going with army. And I think, again, with some people against Hera, they go all in and they never have any semblance of eco planned behind it.
Yep.
And then it just falls flat and then they die. Sebastian doesn't really do that. So I really think we know Leary's a threat to Hera, but I am excited for this because I think there's genuine chances here for Sebastian.
I think the thing that Sebastian does better than any other player on average is eco upgrades, especially late game eco upgrades.
Yeah, true.
I would love to see like his average handcart time versus the handcart time of another player. I think it's so much faster.
Look at Hera's.
It's just like he always has the macro on point.
Look at Hera's build. So Hera did this on Jungle Swamp even. Because we haven't seen Italians a ton, except for Hera on some of these maps. And he goes low fishing ship numbers in the actual Dark Age. Goes super fast up to try and win the water.
Then another fish.
Yep. Double lumber camp on the hill with mining camp. So Hera's not planning to go for a barracks or a range at all right now.
Sebastian, is this forward?
Well, if Sebastian did his homework, he should know that Hera will do this build because every time he's played Italians, he's done it. feels like he's going forward, but he doesn't really have a lot of scouting on what Hera's actually doing at the top of the hill right now.
And it's like you have to factor in the villager loss earlier. So suddenly you have 18 vills. 3 of them are going forward. So you basically have 15 vills at the moment.
Yeah.
Keeping this eco rolling. So like you can afford the buildings, but what are you gonna make out of them, dude?
Well, he's expecting Hera to be taking this wood line. Or if not this wood line, maybe the wood line to the left that he hasn't seen yet. I think this build is all designed around taking that wood. Hera's just stayed on his hill, which is a good option. And now Sebastian will show up, and Hera has gone double lumber camp and mining camp there. So I don't know if the forward's necessarily going to do anything yet, but I like at least if Sebastian recognizes that he's the underdog here, that he's going to try something different.
Well, if you're Hera as well, you're looking for the production buildings. You don't see anything. And Sebastian might have factored in. As Sebastian tries to take the goats under Hera's TC.
The thing that Hera kind of started. Hera kind of started this, and he's getting a taste of his own medicine here. And Sebastian, one of the goats died to the TC, but now if Hera reclaims that one, that dies to the scout. He reclaims that one, that dies to the scout. And Sebastian's like, how do you like it? How does it taste?
Doink. Oh my god, that's 4. That's 4 goats. And Hera's berries are forward, right? So Sebastian's skirmisher, spearman, whatever push is going to go right towards that area. The berries aren't in a fantastic spot. They're actually in an awful spot for Hera. And if he wants to, get his food eco running again, he's going to have to go out there. This is a little bit rough for Hera. He still does have the fish, which is nice. But if Sebastian goes for that demo and takes out 2 of these fishing ships, Hera could be in some trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hera needs that. He needed those goats to transition into the farming eco slowly. Now he might need the farms pretty quick. He also is going to need the skirms. Here comes Sebastian to the hill. And so Hera hasn't faced up against this or seen this all season because no one's done it. Reacting in the moment to this game plan, he'll try and drop a house to block Sebastian in here. So a lot of confidence from Hera in defense, and he drops a counter tower for now.
I think if Sebastian's going to go with the demo, he has to go now. And yep, takes out 2 fish. Beautiful.
Nice.
If you make a demo there and you only have enough gold to make a demo, you have to be distracting your opponent somewhere else. If they're free to pay attention to that, they always shift the fish away.
And let's just think about the situation at home for Sebastian. Does he have a lot of food eco? The answer is really no. He's going to grab those farms. So it's not pretty, but this is smothering Hera and not allowing time for Hera to balance out the eco in the normal fashion. Now, he could easily overextend here, Sebastian. He's trying to trap Hera in. Hera's got some weak vills. Hera loses a villager to this.
This is 1 vill. Sebastian's got to be careful not to go too deep with the other villager, but Hera's going to lose a second.
Yeah.
Spearman takes that out long distance, and Hera might even lose a third. Look at how aggressive the skirms are here. Hera's tower denied, and Sebastian just goes back to building his. Hera goes back to building his, and Sebastian's like, all right, round 2.
Yeah. If you're Sebastian, you're okay with losing these vills as long as you kill 3 yourself. He should be able to kill 1 more. Hera's tower will go up, but also Sebastian, if he just backs away, he can just tower. Yeah, just delete your tower.
Tower the berries in the gold.
And tower the berries in the gold. Exactly. Hera's tower is actually a horrible tower to protect his resources if Sebastian thinks about this.
Still only 2 weak vills, so you really got to think about where you want to place this tower and if you can get it up.
Yeah, true.
Hera doesn't need to kill the whole skirm army. He just needs to snipe a couple vills to deny that whole push. So Sebastian actually leaves with that. Meanwhile, behind this, Hera looks, after all that messiness, surprisingly comfortable. Or it shouldn't be a surprise to us because it happens every game, but really good defense from him.
Well, he lost the vills, but he also produced vills super consistently there. And that's the difference here, I think. Didn't actually add any fish this entire time, so could maybe add 1 or 2. But the second he got pushed,
the tower goes up,
he focused on the farms.
Sebastian.
Yeah. Okay, so he's backing off.
Can't make another one.
Those vills are not going to continue. Well, he needs to recognize that Hera should go scouts here. You really should know at this level, Hera is going archers. He's not going to continually go archers into skirms unless he has another follow-up. And you need to not only be ready to add more spears here, which he is, but you need to be ready to defend your base, though, dude. Because, like, if Hera ever counterattacks with any of this, the forward buildings could be a real liability.
Hera keeps sending that weak villager forward onto the farms. I think he's trying to, like, bait Sebastian into attacking him. It's very un-Hera-like to keep that weak guy on the front farm.
I like it from Sebastian. Will it work? I have absolutely no clue. But this is the type of game that forces Hera to adapt beyond what he's had to do so far this season. And I also think I'd go as far to say is maybe this is one of the better builds against Hera's little water build, right? Because Hera didn't take advantage of the fish because of this. And he was a little late to the army. There's the scouts.
Hera's little water build sounds so disrespectful, dude.
You called Sebastian.
Hera's little water build.
No. If you roll the tape back, you said so. Sebastian's little forward whatever build.
But it was a little forward whatever build. He was down a villager. He had 15 bills behind when he sent the 3 forward.
All right, I'm just saying Hera's got 1 fishing ship, so that's kind of a whatever build too. Or
that is true, but he used to have 2 more.
Okay. I didn't mean disrespect, all right? Scouts from Hera tried to move out. Sebastian just kind of shifting home now. Still making lots of spears and skirms. Let's not discount the fact that long-term, and I'm talking really long-term, that having buildings in that area where Hera will probably expand to drop TCs could be really valuable for Sebastian.
I'm actually stunned that Sebastian did so well with this on the weak eco he had in Feudal Age.
Mm-hmm.
It was a crazy push, and now he's trying to wall in a villager at home. Hera's going to find that and kill it. Sebastian is now housed. That's going to actually help him produce a little bit, losing that villager, but the scouts are over on the berries now.
Sebastian's produced a lot more skirms. He's even gone for armor, and he's also added a lot more spears, but it feels like he wants to go forward, but he can't because it's just... his buildings are so far away, and Hera clicks up. I mean, Hera's farming eco is fantastic. He's actually kept all of his archers producing inside of the TC still. This is just as comfortable as Hera would.
Look at the eco upgrades for Sebastian, though. Classic. Already wheelbarrow.
Yeah, really good.
Already horse collar, right? And the food should be coming in pretty quickly here, but he's still lacking the gold as he tries to go skirms for his fire ship. And tries to clear up that middle area, do whatever he can with that army, because he can't really pressure Hera's base.
I mean, if that army goes to Hera's base right now, though, it's not easy. The best of times for Hera. Sebastian also had like 8 vills in queue. That's another thing I'd associate with him, both with military and with vills. He does what other people would call an overqueue a lot. But if you do such a good job at keeping production rolling in a game, it's never really a bad thing. So he clicks up.
I think the difference between Sebastian queuing up villagers and maybe some other lower players doing that is that he actually realizes they're in the TC. So when it comes to time to click up to Castle Age, he's always canceling them right away. And then he's up. And he's actually up before Hera gets there. So Hera's going to have, what, a minute and a half in Castle Age, and he has these archers forward now. The tower not really protecting the wood line anymore. Sebastian's got to be careful about that. But still, Sebastian is in this game.
Really like the fact that it's likely the skirms survive for Sebastian. It would have to be some pretty crazy all-in micro from Hera to kill that. I think Sebastian should be able to get to a lead skirm. That's the game plan anyways. I also like Sebastian's outposts. So he knows where Hera is right now, but there's a chance that Hera would sneak or will sneak. So the outposts on the sides help him there.
Yeah, the key to fighting up against a faster Castle Age with Crossbow is usually tracking it as Sebastian gets way too close with these skirms for comfort. The demo is waiting. I think he saw it, so he's going to back up.
I think he also has to respect that Knights could be coming out and that the Crossbow upgrade will be in. He's showing a lot of confidence here, moving out.
Trying to just hold these crossbows away.
Seems like it, yeah.
Like every time he dips back, Hera has to take a step back.
Yeah.
So it's just buying him an extra 10 seconds to get to Castle Age.
That's pretty well played, all things considered. Now, he'll need to move off of his wood line or the crossbows will kill a Vil. He does relocate. He also can't really make more skirms to send into that army. That range and barracks is still producing. I don't love that. And Hera now walking to the top of the hill. Dude, this seems so difficult. It's still so much time for Hera to force his advantages.
Yeah, you got to wait for Elite Skirm to come in or Bodkin. I mean, you kind of have to make a choice here. Which one you want? It's going to go for Bodkin. 0 on gold as he builds that tower for Sebastian.
This is what you want if you're Hera, right? You're the favorite. Again, haven't played against him in tournaments a lot. Ladder elo's pretty close. Obviously, there's lots of hype for Sebastian, but this is reminding Sebastian, I'm the favorite here, and it's also reminding himself. I mean, Hera's on 2 TCs already. Hera's got full control. This is so good for the favorite.
Lead Skirm is on the way in. Scout's still roaming around. Crossbow's still harassing the farms. And what is Hera doing behind this? Well, he's got the second TC up.
Booming.
So just adding eco. He's getting further ahead. He's also still idling that forward wood line. Knight's now on the way from Hera. And it's just one camel in the queue from Sebastian. The wood eco is not looking good for him. The food eco, idle villagers on the farms, right? And he was off gold for a good chunk of the, or like first minute of Castle Age. So Sebastian's struggling.
Yeah, Hera's locked as well. He's completely locked in here. There's no doubt about it. Every tiny move that you could really want to have in Hera's position, he has had. And the confidence has got to be rising too, because as a player, if everything's clicking, which Hera's obviously pretty used to, but you're just like, all right, this is good for me. And he...
What do you think about this Civ matchup, like the later they go into the game? Assuming Sebastian stabilizes.
I think it's very close, actually. I think a lot of it has to do with mobility at that stage. A lot of people will immediately think about the Genoese crossbow, but it's not very mobile.
They're not that great of a unit overall, especially in a 1v1. Team game, they feel great.
Yeah.
1v1, kind of underwhelming.
But what I like about Hera's current situation is, just like many times, if you can play heavy crossbow against the Hindustanis, they kind of get stuck because they want to rely on camels. So crossbow knight could be the answer to the Hindustanis in this tournament, and depending on how the engagement goes, though, maybe this could swing. That's a lot of skirmishers with full armor for Sebastian, and there's camels in the mix as well.
I mean, both players have done a phenomenal job keeping their range units alive. And they're just waiting. They're waiting for their moment. They're waiting. Like, Hera's not really investing into the cavalry upgrades. He's not getting the armor for the crossbows because it doesn't matter against the skirms. And he knows that the longer this goes on, the more his eco is going to expand. Sebastian's still 1 TC. He just has to make sure that Sebastian's not outproducing him, which he isn't at the moment. Hera's doing a phenomenal job.
This puts a lot of pressure on Sebastian to micro these units down. He should know that at the very least, Hera's got to be 1 TC up on him. The skirmisher's getting stuck in there. And everything you said, Dave, is correct. I think Sebastian really wanted to be at an even game state when this micro is happening. It's not even at all, so we'll dive into the Knights. I can't help but feel like this is good for Hera. A lot of those skirms are not in position. The crossbows will kill the camels. And even if it's a full reset, Hera's going to love this fight.
Full reset is fine for Hera. And it's not going to be a full reset. He's going to save some of his crossbows.
Yeah, crossbow's still dodging. Skirms are still alive, barely. Same with some of the camels.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. He decides not to. It's not going to back away from that. It's just a complete reset in the center as Sebastian has a couple units left over. Hera adds another archer range. He's almost got enough stone for a castle now, so he can think about one defensively. And of course, the 3 TCs already up while Sebastian is just now thinking about adding a second.
Yeah, and again, the concern is camel skirm, 2 of the weaker units to kill villagers now. So you're behind in vills. You can't necessarily raid underneath TCs. And so Hera should be happy.
And then earlier today, we saw Leary run in with 10 skirms against 3 knights and a scorpion and then kill half of the eco.
True.
To toe. So, like, I guess it depends who you are, because it's definitely not working for me, man.
If you get enough skirms, I guess it's good to raid. Hera...
Siege from Sebastian.
Like, if Hera ever had a weakness, if this game was closer, right? If it was like 60 vills or 65 vills for 78, he can be late to that next step in military in these situations because the boom is so heavy. But it just feels fine. I mean, he's adding more military buildings. I personally would like to see a second stable. And if he goes 2 stables, double range, he can kill this.
He also has the defensive castle in his back pocket, too. So he can kind of afford to be greedy, right?
Yeah.
He's got some military to delay, and then you place the defensive castle, and then you just boom with your 4 TCs.
Yep. Sebastian, forward siege workshop, but feels like he's just struggling to find the damage. Hera baits him into a demo. It does land. Some of the camels get roasted a little bit. The fire galleys help as well. That's fine for Hera. He'll take that. And ballistics is in.
These things are cooking.
I think Sebastian just looking back at his eco for the time being, just trying to maybe looking at the siege workshop, realizing the push isn't exactly working. Hera dropping a castle, which tells me he's not worried about the siege push, because he also could have built the castle on top of his hill. And Hera's micro will take out the mangonel. That's so well played. Sebastian maybe just feeling now like, what a tough battle it's going to be today.
Yeah, he's suddenly remembering that he's playing up against Hera.
Yep.
Because this is just Hera-esque in so many ways. Sebastian, I don't think has played a bad game. I think the opening was really nice from him. Obviously, we caught Hera off guard a little bit, but then, you know, classic Hera, he gets the farms up. He's just super comfortable with the eco. He gets up the castle age faster with Italians, and ever since then, he's just had a lead, and he's just expanding on the lead. Yeah, 50 villagers ahead, doubled up on eco almost. How do we get to this spot in the game? That's crazy.
Well, because Hera
does not feel like a game that he's double.
Well, it's because Hera isn't adding, like he's so late at time. Again, like this, if Hera loses today, like these are maybe the tiny thing, like maybe it's too much of a boom. Like, refuses to idle the TCs. You love the Vilcat and you love the farm expansion. You expect him to be able to take these losses, but Sebastian keeps coming with way more military. And this will be the difference between the two of them today, in my opinion. Hera will gain Vil leads, but I think he could be vulnerable if games are actually closer. Maybe even now. I don't know. The castle also didn't protect anything except that gold. It didn't protect his hill either, so...
I mean, you say that, but like his main archer range has been 65% of the time producing, right?
Yeah. I was just waiting for the
stable was
stables.
over 50 as well. And now the stables come up, and I think like he's just got himself to a spot. He judged it correctly. He's going for a 5th TC even. Or I guess 4th now that he lost that other one. But Sebastian's siege push, if Hera just moves everything down to the left, it's not that threatening anymore.
And this is where you get to enough knights with these crossbows, you get the full clear up, and we're headed back to the draft to speculate here. This is starting to get really dangerous for Sebastian. It's kind of crazy as well, right? Hera doesn't even add his own siege. So many people would add a mangonel to try and get a splat here, but he's like, nah, not really. Don't really need it. Just need full numbers, and I'm good to go.
Let's think about what Sebastian needs to do to win this game. He needs to keep Hera in castle age for as long as he can, and he needs to add eco of his own behind. And he's adding the 3rd TC, and Hera's still in castle.
He needs an attack round. He needs a massive attack round. And
there's that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a choke point I would want to run into Hera. He realizes as well. 13 knights for Hera, full armor and forging.
Trying to come in with these knights as Hera, Sebastian is only going to attack around that choke point so many times, so you're always going to like bait back. But when do you do like the counter bait where you don't pull them back and you just run through anyway?
The anti-micro?
Yes, exactly, the doubt special.
Yeah, anti-micro is the best type of micro, man. Well, Hera, it clicks up to imp, so we thought there was going to be another big injection of army. But he's starting to get a little antsy here, and this is, I mean...
Another big injection of TC in the north.
Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of waiting. Just kind of waiting for this 10k additional res to pay off here for Hera. Imp is a pretty long way away, and one bad fight, things could get pretty dangerous here for Hera. He backs away with his crossbows perfectly. His knights engage. He's not winning the fight yet, but with all the armor... You'd expect that he could maybe take it.
That was a really good attack round. He took out a lot of HP on those knights. The crossbows are coming in. The scrims are trying to deal with those, but Hera accomplishes his goal. Takes out the mangonels. No threat.
Oh, man, and disastrous, actually, because the camels are split up. The camels can't even get close without dying to the crossbows. And Hera's on the way to imp. Hera will get the clear. And that is what Hera's been waiting for. And I think he just knew he's had this lead for so long. He didn't want to take any risks. And GG called. So Hera, lightning fast start. The aggression from Sebastian was different, but it didn't really lead to a solid mid game for him. I think that was the main problem.
Yeah, and I wonder if that play was adaptive. Was that a planned play, or was that because Hera's scout was weak and Sebastian knew that he needed to do something because he was behind, and he knew that the scout wasn't going to be over on the left side?
It would not surprise me if Sebastian looked at the last time Hera played Acropolis and Hera went for the bottom wood line. Like, that felt to me, when you forward there, it feels like you're expecting the villagers to be down there and not on the top of the hill. So I would have to remember, it's been a long time, but definitely felt like he wasn't able to get the damage done that he wanted. But well played. Thing to remember, at least in Sebastian's case, is he did lose that first game against Viper. Everyone's freaking out. Everyone's like, Viper, Viper, Viper. And then he ended up turning it around and winning 3 straight. So I think it's a bit of a different situation, though, when you've got Hera involved these days, because Hera is so consistent. So, Dave, here we are. We're in the second game. We've got Sebastian in the red, Hera in the blue. We have 2 pretty common picks. We've got the Huns for Sebastian and the Japanese for Hera. Honestly, Dave, you're the expert when it comes to strategy and Civ knowledge. So tell me what you think about this Civ matchup. Well, I can't do it. I can't do it. Guys, Dave's power went out, he'll be back. If I were to actually commit there, I am just going to be trashed relentlessly for years because of it. So I just... the bird in the corner. Why didn't that player make a demo, man? I can't do it. I'm done. Dave will be back. I'm still in the voice channel, so if he comes back, we should be able to hear him right away. But no, I can give you my take, obviously. I think a lot of this comes down to cav archers. Cheap CA for the Huns. Super powerful cav archers for the Japanese. Hera's not really one to play longsword, unless, well, he's playing his Huns. Man, is that an old meme. But while the fish is super valuable, both players are actually going to feel fairly comfortable trying to get to the cav archers in the mid game. Now, the wood lines here are kind of chunky. You've got a lot of wall potential if you were to do that. I mean, look at the front of Hera's base. But honestly, in Hera's position, I actually think this could hurt him. It feels like an easy wall, but moving forward is kind of awkward here. We're both going to be positioned towards the corner pond in the east and the west. And then eventually they can long-term take control of the north and south. But like some player style will use the Japanese flexibility to pressure early. They will go for super heavy, like man-at-arms, and try and take map control. That's not really Hera. Hera like gives up the map control. He will contest for some of the pawns, but Hera's not going to go for a build that's designed for max aggression. I think Hera will just think about how expensive that is and how he'd like to hold on to those resources. And opt for an active feudal age, but not all-in type of feudal age here. So Sebastian, doing something that he's done before. He likes to scout the edge of his ponds with all of his sheep, actually. And sometimes he'll actually go down to the other pond and scout. He's playing as the Huns. I'm wondering if he's going to palisade the shoreline. The Huns, of course, can't build houses. So you can't like naturally build a house on the shoreline to get some additional vision. And some of Sebastian's former teammates would build palisades on the shoreline. Dark does it. Mihai does it. And it's just to prevent any docks. I would guess he doesn't because I don't think he's expecting Hera to go forward dock. But I would love for Hera to go forward dock because the narrative is that he's not going to do it. It could still be really strong. T90, please unmute Dave. Yeah, I know he's muted. His power company muted him here. But winner here moves on to face Nikov in the semifinals tomorrow, guys. Thanks again, everyone, for the love and support. Thank you, Thor's Hair. What's up? You're Brocken, Sovereign, Expired Rascals, and Craigers. Welcome back, guys.
Yo, thanks, Craigers. That's a big sub, dude.
Let's go. Nice. I hope you didn't hear my mini Dave impression. It was not very good.
Oh, no. I've heard many of those in the past. They're never quite as much as what I'm expecting.
Dude,
one day you'll get it, though.
I bailed halfway through. Big time. Like, I just bailed because
That's your problem, dude. You got to commit, dude. You got to commit to the bit.
Dude, as I think of what I would consider to be the most, like, the funniest thing and the most offensive to you, all I think about is what that's going to mean for me for the next 2 years after the words come out of my mouth. So I just give up right away.
Yeah, dude. It's like a deterrent, you know?
So... Japanese and Huns here. And I was just saying that some people are going to play really messy with Japanese, go for man-at-arms, but that's not your typical Hera style.
Hera. No, not Hera style. Not at all. I think Hera's just going to try and make sure there's no pawn or a dock coming up on this pawn at the back. And then, you know, he'll adapt his gameplay from that point forward. I would be surprised to see him go for a forward dock on Sebastian's pawn. Maybe, but Probably not. You know, probably a dock over in this pond to the south. And then you keep your pawn safe at home and just expand your eco with Japanese. You're fine.
Yep. Wall up, play safe. If this gets to a cav archer battle on the back of a fish boom, Japanese are actually fairly happy with that. Hera, had the potential to gate.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of pig and sheep laming in this set.
True.
Like just in general, right? Like Sebastian kind of started it. Hera's going to take those two. And he actually, I think he thought about sending them to Sebastian's TC as a flex, but he actually sends them back.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Here he comes. Under the TC, Hera. Here he comes. Here he comes. He doesn't see the pigs.
Yeah, and of course, with these hybrid builds, you just don't have a lot underneath your TC. So that's what allows it. And Sebastian saw that, shifted the pigs back. And Hera, full walls, dude. Full walls.
These
Look
are
at
huge.
This. Crazy
huge
walls. Well, full walls bodes well for Hera. It always bodes well for Hera. So, like, I wouldn't love it if he wasn't being active for the pawns, but he does have the dock already in the south.
He's had that fishing ship along the shoreline like 3 separate times now. He keeps checking.
Which one? Hera?
Yeah.
Hera double checking the north.
He's checked it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Smart. And he's also scouting the south.
The villager up in the north with the pigs.
Oh, man. Sebastian's going to lose a vill. Hera's fully walled. Hera's fish booming with Japanese. Sebastian's villager is attempting to quick wall, which, of course, Hera's going to expect. And Sebastian will lose the villager. Nice spot for Hera to be in. And to your point, he does now know that Sebastian has docked the north.
That's... Like, Hera sent the pigs up there to take them away from Sebastian's scout that was near his walls. And he just finds the dock with it. That's so nice for him. I think he would suspect that the dock is always up there, but it's a good piece of information.
Dude, it's just so funny. Like, this map is just played so differently from player to player, right? You have Sato, he's like sending everyone. You got other players, they just... Crazy walls. Crazy walls from Hera. He's like, nope, I have no interest in competing in feudal at all with you. You're not going to play messy because you're Sebastian, but you're also Huns. And if anything, you're going to open scouts. And now a dock from Sebastian will attempt to come up in the south, and Hera's looking around, maybe?
No, I don't know if he expects that one. He's going to the shorefish, though, so he's going to see it. Yeah.
Both sides, too.
Great job from Hera.
Yeah, that's the easy way to do it. It's just, you lack some efficiency, but you won't get surprised if you fish the shorefish there.
All the little things, man. It's like not super impressive individually, but when you piece them all together, the little things that the top players do on this map in feudal age to set them up for success, it's just so much. So many pieces coming together, and Hera's doing everything right now.
I think Hera might play Crossbow because you need to respect that there may be some archers, and you also have a long time till you're in Castle Age. So that range coming up makes me think at least some archers.
And Hera's not really like the cav archer guy either.
I mean,
he'll make them, but he's not really the guy that's thinking cav archers when you load into the game with Japanese.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah. I mean, he's thought fish boom first and foremost, which was the key here. And he's thought walls first and foremost, and it's working out. And it's just, you come into a tournament when Hera's involved, and you just think, who's going to be the guy to beat him? And then you see game number 1, and you see this, and you're just like, well, what's Sebastian going to do? What's his plan against this? It's been super breezy for Hera so far.
Yeah, that pig is putting in work. Hera's got it over on the other side of his starting pond, too. Looking for a villager up there.
Yep.
that thing found the dock. That thing is over there looking for vills.
Well, Hera should lose this vill. He's doing what he can to save it, but that villager should go down. I like the fact that he's making this at least somewhat difficult, so Sebastian could maybe lose the scout or something. He's tanking with the fishing ships. The archer goes in towards the fire. No way, dude. It's also impossible to click that vill right now, isn't it? Because it's like under the fishing ship.
Sebastian finds a way, though, and Hera's going to try and save it. The scout is coming back in, so that villager should die, and it does. Which means no more repairs over here for Hera. So Sebastian should clear up this pawn, even up against the Japanese. That's really nice from him.
Yeah, and if he can hold that...
Age is almost in from Hera, so...
Yeah, if he's able to hold that, he should be really happy. The archer is actually really helpful here. And, yeah, gets the clear up. Just, Hera doesn't have the biggest archer mass, but even crossbow, even like 8 crossbows with Bodkin could completely kill Sebastian. And Sebastian knows. Sebastian's like, I'm super late. I think he's missing buildings. He still hasn't clicked up for whatever reason. He has the resources. Does he think he clicked up? What in the world? There he goes. He clicks up now. I think we're seeing nerves for Sebastian there. I think this is obviously there was a lot to manage, but maybe some nerves.
Okay, hear me out, Tristan. Siege tower. If there's one moment of all time, you have to clear up the palisade wall first before you go over, because you can only hop over one little section of wall. But like Sebastian's not going to have anything back here to defend in feudal age. If and Hera... he's still not going up. It's still behind a villager.
Yeah. The day Hera goes for a siege tower in the quarterfinals of an S tier tournament. No, it's not today. Hear me out. 3 TCs and just get a big boom lead. Hear me out. Run home with your archers and sit in Castle H until you get a bigger eco and then add siege. Like
That's a nice demo from Hera. You got the war galley upgrade.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like
in the north, Dave. Look, Sebastian put the pig there, hoping that it would spot a dock. But Hera has the dock as close to the edge of the map, so Hera can also take the north.
So you're telling me Hera's pig is better than Sebastian's pig? Because his pig is still waiting for a sneak villager from Sebastian.
I mean, I guess you could say that. Yep. Hera, good pig micro. Sebastian lacking. Hera is housed
Siege
at the
Workshop.
moment. And there's the Siege Workshop.
Siege Workshop.
I want you to...
Tower wouldn't make sense now with the skirms, but tower.
I want you to be right, by the way. Like I'm not sitting here like hating on it because I don't think it'd be cool, but we've seen it before. If you hop over those walls, you can't get back. Stuck. Yeah, you can't get back, and you don't exactly know what's behind there, so it'd probably be a little too risky. Hera playing really smart to compete on the pawns now. Sebastian had no clue what was coming in the north until now. Will likely lose those fish. And Hera does have his archers hiding on the shoreline down the south, so Sebastian wants to kill them with the skirms. But 2 town centers for Hera. Res collected's even. Population's actually quite even. But things should start to climb up for Hera a little bit.
Yeah, very similar, again, to last game, right? Just faster Castle H, and then second TC faster. And Sebastian, like you said, loves producing military. It's great against most players. But when someone can just kind of toe the line between how much military they need to stay alive while also adding eco behind, we saw that from Viper for years. Years and years and years, where he would just constantly get away with it. And that's what Hera's doing.
The archers kill a villager in the north. Sebastian was going to use to repair or build an additional dock. And Sebastian's skirms didn't find a single archer there. Like, that was kind of disappointing for him. He thought he was going to find those archers. He hasn't killed them. And now Sebastian still wants nothing more than just to attack these archers, which still aren't even crossbowmen, but now they're siege.
He's got this 2 stables behind that he's kind of hidden from Hera, but he doesn't have the eco to produce from them.
Crazy that Hera could be so late to crossbowmen, isn't it? Not that, I mean, he's up against Elite Skirm now, but he didn't feel like he would have been able to do much with it. Hasn't lost an archer, though, and can now go for crossbowmen. Really nice.
I mean, that's just the confidence levels that he plays with. He just adapts at all times now. Like, he'll look at something like Crossbow, which a lot of other players would feel, okay, this is essential. I need to click this.
Yeah.
I have my big archer mass, right? But he sees the double layer of stone.
He's like, nah, I'm good.
Nah, whatever. We'll put it into eco. Yep. We'll get it when I need it.
I think we're also very clearly seeing, like, Sebastian has to... He's not going to feel anywhere near that level of confidence until he gets a win this series, right? Like, he's trying to feel it out and get into a rhythm here.
Hera also sees the stable now, and he's like, oh. Where are those knights? They're at home, brother.
Sebastian, my friend, you could go into Hera's base. He just killed a Mangonel in Hera's base. He didn't go in. Hera had nothing.
He's coming from behind. He's still got the skirms. Good micro from Sebastian to dodge under the mango shots. Knights are coming in here. He's trying to clear up the crossbows, but now Sebastian losing the knights. He'll still clear everything.
He will clear everything.
But it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like
Nice attack round from Hera.
I can't help but feel like those knights, like how frequently are you going to get an opportunity to get a couple kills there? Maybe run in, make it messy, but it could have been horrible if he didn't deal with the push. So that maybe felt like the biggest priority there.
I think the biggest oof there from Sebastian was after he killed the first Mangonel, not going for the other two.
Yeah, it was just
knights.
Yep.
Like, if you clear up those Mangonels, the crossbows are free for the skirmishers to take out.
Yeah, and I think a lot more skirmishers survive. And that should be a kill there for Sebastian. There's no repairs that could save that. Unless I'm wrong on that. Hera body blocking.
Oh, almost amazing.
And we kind of fall into a situation somewhat similar to the previous game, right? Hera gives up full map control. Hera just letting his eco to cook. But it is just... Well, it's about to be 3 TCs. And instead of Skirm Camel, it is Skirm Knight. So Skirm Knight has a lot more offensive potential here for Sebastian.
Yep.
Also...
Villager difference isn't as bad as last game. Sebastian also got Heavy Plow really early. Really early.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really valuable here. And this is where hopefully Sebastian can start to get a bit of a groove going for himself because he was reacting a lot. It's very simple game plan for him. You've got one pond, whatever. Your Huns, flood skirms, flood knights. Get those knight upgrades you've been missing. He's working on that now. This could be difficult for Hera, but one conversion could change that.
I think the best thing for Sebastian right now is that he's got that Siege Workshop kind of locked down. So Hera can't add Siege him with his crossbows. And he's just trying to push out with crossbows, soon to be against 2+2 skirms. And the knights are locking down that Siege Workshop behind this. So Hera wants to meet up with the Mangonel. It's going to be really difficult for him.
Hera will want a shot here. Sebastian knows it. He's camping. Where's Hera going? Okay, wasn't expecting that. It's just like one mistake, and you just come completely surprised because you're not expecting it from Hera. I think he wanted really badly to pop out with that Mangonel, but now Sebastian moving forward with some confidence, which he hasn't been doing, and suddenly Hera's Mangonel's down, the Siege Workshop's a liability.
Another monk dead.
Another monk could go down, and Sebastian starting to heat up a little bit.
Could have sniped that monk. He kind of pulled some of them away at the last second. That's unfortunate, but I mean, the army number for Hera... very low, 12. It's only 15 for Sebastian, but better upgrades for Sebastian.
But remember what I said, right? This is Hera's weakness, if there is one. The previous game, he was ahead by 50 vills. Here, he's only ahead by 20, but he goes for that third TC instead of that next level of military, and this is where he actually could be punished. And Sebastian will now add some siege. There's a lot of stone and gold here on the front. And he's dropping TC number 3 as well. So it will still be competitive with the TC count.
Hera has control over 3 pawns, though. Although, his starting pawn, he hasn't made the fish traps yet.
Yep.
Sebastian, out of fish, essentially, on his starting pawn. So that food number is going to drop for him. Fortunately, he does have Heavy Plow. Love to see Wheelbarrow come in. I assume that it will soon for him.
Hera just drops a 4 TC. Dude, this is just, it's just so bold to just go 4 TCs. Like, a lot of people go knights here, like... He does have ballistics. He has this mix of crossbow and skirms. He has a couple monks. Always just on that fine line there. Sebastian really wants some siege right now. Sebastian's going to fight. I'm not sure if I love it, but he doesn't want to allow Hera to advance out. Loses some knights. Will kill all the monks and pushes Hera back a little bit.
Also discovers the Siege Workshop.
Yeah. You need +2. You need any armor, actually, if you're Sebastian. His knights... don't have many upgrades at all.
Yep.
And Hera...
that comes back to the food eco, dude. He's trying to produce at a
3 TCs and make skirms.
Third one's coming on, and now he has 7 fishing ships taken from a shorefish. So when you look up at your food count, you see 30 on food. You're like, oh, that's pretty good. It's actually 23 on farms at the moment. The fish aren't really giving you that much.
Well, this is where I've been waiting to see that next level from Hera. He's got the eco. He just needs to secure it now. He also has the stone to drop a castle, but the ideal castle position is probably where the armies are. So he's going to try pikemen, which could be vulnerable against skirms, but it's pretty clear that Sebastian's knights are going to be the game decider here, so I like it.
I think Hera actually might go for a castle, like, over on the either on the left or, like, in the north, near that extra gold.
That or, like... Well, yeah, if this push starts to advance through the middle... You'll think that...
Oh, that's your thing.
Supplies! Sorry, I was a little unexcited with that one, but I was more so surprised. Not surprised. I was surprised.
Surprised!
Why are we going longswords right now?
I don't know. He's about to get a castle. Why not just go samurai, dude? If you're going to go longsword, just make samurai.
I wouldn't actually mind if you're going to play full castle age to go for some knights. Have some mobility. You get full upgrades. It's also very Hera-esque. Sebastian goes a little far here. Snipes a monk. Defends his mangonels very nicely. And Hera, just a massive eco. But what is that going to lead to in these engagements here? Knight goes through. Sebastian kind of hits himself. Sebastian keeps the mangonels alive.
Bro, why are we making longswords?
He does. I think he feels stuck. Like, and there's a lot of army out here. I thought it'd be imp or I thought it'd be knights. Could Hera possibly be falling apart with this eco lead right now? Sebastian's cooking. 3 TCs, defensive castle for him. He's getting the relics. He's still got a great siege workshop position to push. And if he realizes that Hera has this other TC, could push that as well. But 30 vil difference.
Why on earth are we making longswords, dude? Maybe he thinks he's Huns.
Poor Hera. That was so long ago.
Never outlived that one.
That was so long ago. It was so long ago. Oh my god. I mean, longswords with Japanese are pretty insane. It should be decent against skirms. They're not so good against knights, though, which is the worry. And Sebastian
if
sees
you're gonna make a castle, don't go longsword. Just make samurai. You'd have 12 samurai by now.
Yeah,
they produce
true.
so quick.
That's true. I mean, it's just not a position that Hera is very comfortable in, switching into infantry. Like, if that is the correct switch, which it may be, that's not something that he typically does. But the ranged units haven't been enough.
I really like the Ram edition from Sebastian, because Hera can't easily kill that with anything.
Yep. And Sebastian's all the way to imp. Hera spent those resources on 18 longswords. Is this Sebastian's moment? I see ranges from him. He will switch to cav archers now, which feels very natural. And Hera's got this 50 army count. He's got this 20 eco count, but he's expanding, but he's not advancing forward with it.
Gambeson's on the way. I mean, he's massing the longswords. He's got the skirms as well, and has to avoid the attack rounds from those mangonels. Sebastian seems ready for those longswords to push forward, and there's the castle on the hill from Sebastian, pushing towards that extra gold from Hera, and that TC over there. Hera just keeps adding more farms behind. He's falling further and further back.
I think let me ask you, is this the weakness of just booming up so heavily? Like, no offensive rates.
100%.
No offense.
100%. And this has been Hera's weakness for, if you can say he has a weakness, forever. But I think the thing with him is that he's going to keep doing it until he gets punished for it. We know he can play super aggressive. We know he can add military. We know he can play the micro war. He can do everything. He's going to keep doing this until someone can say, nope, can't do that anymore. And then he switches up his strat.
Well, I think as a player, right, if you have all the confidence in yourself and then you lose a game and you've invested into 20 military that just feel basically useless now to the situation, that can get in your head a little bit and affect the series. And think about it on the alternate side. If you're Sebastian, you're like, that wasn't it. I've got him. And he started to struggle. Sebastian wins this game. Heads start to turn, and 2 castles. Look at how much stone Sebastian has right now.
Yep. This will be a great raid if he goes up north. There's a lot of farmers there. Hera's got 52 on food, like super impressive macro behind this. And he has some golds to fall back on. But I don't know if he's got the units to push out against this.
No.
I mean, Sebastian's queued up quite a few. Cav Archer's got 14 now. He's just getting the upgrades. Mangonels are still valuable here.
Yeah, the knights are still going to add a little bit of value, and trebuchets from Sebastian will be on Hera's castle. This is a good fight for Sebastian. Hera, 180 population, but seemingly stuck in this position. If Sebastian can continue this, take map control in the north, there's another castle for gold, and trebuchet in the south. Hera's going to lose a lot of eco here. And his production buildings are split from each other, aren't they? Those barracks are down in the south. The ranges are more towards the north. It's really tough for him.
Yeah, and great exploration from Sebastian as well. Completely controlling all of the map, right? He can see if Hera wants to expand. Hera's trying to go for outposts as well, but Sebastian's going to lock those down. And I mean, this is just Hera's going to have to work some magic to get himself out of this bind. He is stuck in the corner right now.
Well, he needs to max out, and he should be able to afford that at least. What you worry about now is, can he fight long-term with the lack of position? Hera's got resources to get two-handed swordsman and get the upgrades on the skirms. The list is long, but he doesn't have any control over this game against a very mobile Civ. Like, Hera's advancing out to build an outpost in the north. That's the first attempt at any scouting of Sebastian's base in a very long time, and it's tough now. Look at Sebastian even steal the relic in the back of Hera's base. I think he's going for that.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah.
There's two of them back there.
Cavalier dive in for Sebastian. Will clear out a monk. Hera's castle's being repaired, but he's likely to lose it. And Hera...
He's got no stone, man.
200
He's going up to the
pop.
stone in the far south, but Sebastian can see him going out there. He's got no stone to repair this castle. Has to spend all of his gold to buy stone to repair this castle, and it goes down anyway.
It's pretty crazy that Hera's 200 pop. I don't know if I've ever seen a situation where someone has 200 pop but lacks so little control over the game. It's got so much military going to different directions to try and stabilize this, and now there's like 40 skirms in the south that are out of position to protect his hill. Sebastian, if he can keep this up, he should take the game.
You haven't seen a situation where someone's 200 pop with so little control? Do you remember the Grauple game you played in Wandering Warriors Cup 1?
Well, don't bring me into this. I was a part of it. That's different.
How many vills did you have?
I had 180 vills, but once I deleted 40 of them, easy game, easy life, all right?
Easy game, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was definitely like, how am I losing? which maybe is what Hera's thinking for very different reasons now. I mean, he's on Skirm Halb, which is good if you can get the numbers combined. And Sebastian's still missing a lot of upgrades in armor and attack, but heavy CA's coming in. And yeah, Hera just taps out. What a response from Sebastian. It just, again, it felt inevitable, but there was never that pushback from Hera. And to my point, if there's a weakness for him, he just overbooms. You got to take that map control, you know?
Well, like I said, it's confidence, right? So until that confidence is broken, he's going to keep doing the same thing. And we keep seeing the window of opportunity. Sebastian takes advantage of it here. I mean, Hera might shift his style a little bit in this set now to make up for it. But yeah, Sebastian is just the guy that can punish this. A lot of players would have failed to do the damage that Sebastian did.
Sebastian had to work so hard, dude. Like he had to constantly micro his army. There's very few people in the world that can keep up with the micro required to keep that forward position and also get the eco he ended up getting. He ended the game with 150 villagers. He ended the game with 3 relics. Look at the amount of mining camps he has on stones and golds. It was very well played from Sebastian. And so many people would have predicted the sweep for Hera, because Sebastian hasn't had a career that's quite as long, but we've been saying it for a while, for the last year or so with Sebastian. He's the real deal. He's here to play, and we'll see if this can carry into some confidence for him moving into Game 3. Whoa, look at this generation here in the middle.
It is weird, isn't it? It's very, very weird.
It's very rocky.
What on earth?
On this forest. What in the world? Also, Sebastian with the double deer push, which you can now do. I don't know if he'll continue the whole way through with that. Doesn't seem like he's too picky about that, but we have Portuguese Sebastian. The exact same matchup that Hera played with his incredible comeback against Classic Pro in the group stage, so he'll know this matchup.
I didn't watch that one either. Jeez.
Yeah, it was...
I've been watching a lot of hyper random, dude.
Nice.
Were you tuning in did you tune in at like... I streamed till like 10:30 the other night. Dope versus Kingston.
I saw the Vikings-Franks game.
Doubt at 4 a.m. is a crazy man.
Yeah, I saw that game. I don't know if I saw the other games. So, admin's choice here. It's a weird gen. It's not a due to a bug though. Everyone has their resources. There's less
weird
space to move around. Yeah, it's weirdly rocked. So it's also weirdly rocked for both essentially. It could make a castle in the middle a little bit more important because there's less space you could build, but we should be playing this one.
So who do you favor here? Portuguese Khmer?
Well, it's really hard for me to bet against Hera with Khmer. If Hera fans aren't worried right now, they would have to be really worried if Hera loses this one, because #1 pick and a civ he always loves. I think that what Hera has actually lacked in both games, possibly, well, more so game #2, of course, is proper initiative. And Khmer, he will play through proper initiative. So I'm going with Khmer. Yeah. The super fast scout build is really tough to stop. And at least then Hera will be playing offensive. And we haven't seen that from the jump on land so far.
Usually, I mean, if you see two civs going scouts and one of them is Khmer, I actually favor the other civ a lot of the times. Just because the Khmer player doesn't usually have a barracks to make spears.
Yeah.
So, like, they're stuck at their base. But with a player like Hera and his micro, it feels like he should just be able to hop in the houses whenever he needs.
I'm being told we're doing...
He's going to add that range really quickly. We're doing it again?
I'm being told we're doing a restart. So, maybe they've already stopped? Yes. Okay. That's fine. That's fine with me. It's a weird gen. We don't want any hiccups or possible complaints at the end, and we'll just restart this. So save your thought, I guess. Yeah, the map is awkward to say the least in the middle. Not your typical generation. We have a big moment here. So they'll do the same civ matchup. They're actually in the next game already. Same civ matchup, and hopefully the map will cooperate a little bit with us there.
All right.
40 seconds.
So what was... Sorry, I got a phone call. What was exactly wrong with that map?
Lots of rockage. That's
it?
I guess that's why the re was called, yeah.
Oh. Huh.
Think about it from this perspective. This is a big series. And even though technically it's fair for both, an argument could be made that's not the map that was intended, and that it is unfair for players to have to play in it. And if someone were to lose, they could be a bit upset. So I'm happy with that.
So you tell me game 3 is off to a rocky start?
Yeah, game 3 is off to a rocky start.
Okay.
There should be more space in the middle now. And I'm waiting to see it. But yeah, this is what the map's supposed to look like. So back in, I think they've changed colors.
Yep. Switching Hera back to the blue, Sebastian in the red. And, well, congratulations, Hera. You get a new map, and you get a gold that is almost touching the rocks now. Have fun.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think...
He's got one in the back. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, I mean, this happens. Hera will build out in front of that. What I would want as a player on Rocky Forest is I would want my berries or my gold to be next to wood. As much as the back berries and the back gold seems nice for Sebastian.
Cover it all with one tower.
Exactly.
That's what you want. Yeah.
So in Hera's position, one tower can cover aspects of the gold, the berries, and the wood. So as awkward as that might look, I think there's some positives there.
I mean, to be fair, if Sebastian wants to go really far afield, he could do the same thing with gold, berries, and wood all at the same time. But that's really far away.
Yeah, that's true. So, obviously, we're getting back into things here. We talked about it a little bit. But yeah, I'll just restate it that I think Hera likes to play aggressively with the Khmer and then adapt. The previous game, it was like defense and adapt, and clearly Sebastian was able to punish that. So I like the scout opening here. But Hera doesn't like to add spears. So that could potentially be a problem. Like you said, sometimes people will utilize the fact that the Khmer don't go with spears and then spear rush them.
Sometimes it's basically always you open scouts against Khmer, it feels like.
Yeah.
Just for that reason, right? Like I feel like a broken record sometimes talking about it. People have enough wood for the barracks and they can't bring themselves to add it, right?
I would like to see Sebastian maybe consider opening archers here and then going into scouts. Like, try and put Hera into a position where he shifts away from scouts and into skirms.
Maybe.
But it's kind of tricky because skirms mass so fast. Hera will have such a good wood and farm buildup, so it should be pretty easy for him to mix in skirms. But Hera's definitely going to have the scout head start. So it's then a question of, will he make any mistakes and lose a scout or two, which would allow Sebastian to tie it up. But Yeah, we've had some crazy games. So basically, to explain Hera's comeback. So what Classic Pro kept doing against Hera in this exact matchup in group stage is he showed no respect for Hera's defense. He was like, "Oh, that's cool. You have like 4 scouts and I have 3 spears, 2 archers, and you look like you're going to fight me." Well, guess what? Hera's not going to fight that, but he's acting like he will, so you back away. He just kept going in, sniped a couple vills. Then Hera finally reacts to that and starts going to the middle. And then Classic Pro already had 2 more archers sneaking around the outside. So he really utilized the outsides. Hera was like maybe 20 vills behind. There was a castle from Classic Pro in the middle, and then Hera just never died, dude. He just got the skirms and hussars, just never died. I think there was over 300 villagers killed that game. It was absolutely unreal.
Well, it's another strength of Hera, and it's a strength that, you know, his opponents give him all that respect.
Yes.
On average. Of, you know, they see him maneuver towards their army and they think, oh my god, he's gonna out micro me. Even if, you know, if they step back and think about it, Hera can't win that fight with a good trade.
Yeah.
So why not just take it?
Sato in a game in group stage had like, no joke, like 3 scouts, 4 skirms. There's 1 spearman from Hera. But when he moved in towards an exposed woodline, Hera pulled the vills to fight back, and Sato was like, oh my god, and just ran away. I'm out. He just ran away, and I was like, wow. Like, I fully understand it, and there's aspects of just the mental strength there too, because Hera knows that. Favorites are always just gonna they're not gonna show any worry. But yeah, you got to look at the opportunities for what they are. So both players click up here. Again, guys, you cannot wall on the rock. That is intended. What wasn't intended was the much larger rock spawn, so there's a bit more space to move around. And Hera going for the range here, I think, because he's shifting to gold.
Dude, I love the difference. Hyper random, someone has a pawn, and the other guy doesn't have a pawn, and the admins are like, nah. When you load into this one, you're like, too many rocks. We're going back.
Yeah, it's just how it works, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone signs up for hyper random and then afterwards is like they're gonna be clowned on if they complain that the map was too random, right?
They know what this is like Masters of Bazi random or whatever. Like, you can't complain about that tournament, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Hera against the pigs again.
Hera remembers.
This is number what, 3 of this happening so far in this set? Maybe it's twice.
I don't think he can try and kill that there.
He's gonna try and kill it. Yeah.
And that's so funny.
Sebastian gave it back to him, dude. He gave it. That's such a play from Sebastian.
Listen, I love Sebastian, but I don't know how much you can give him credit there. I think he just happened to be.
Okay. We gotta give him credit.
Okay, we'll give him credit. Well, he gets his pigs. Hera runs back. Hera also sees the range, though. So he gets to know what the opening is. And for Sebastian, he's probably done his homework, and he's probably expecting that Hera's going to be going scouts. And Hera's not going scouts. Hera's going double range archers. What?
Archers into skirms later, maybe?
Oh, man.
Initially archers, and then into skirms. He's only got 3 on gold. Like, he can't afford more than 1 range producing. He can't even afford 1 range producing.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like... this is very uncommon to open double range in 1v1. Typically, it can hurt your eco a bit. But he went super fast fletching on double range. He won't be able to produce out of both ranges. I'm not in love with the build right now. So he could potentially have some issues with it, but eventually, I guess, he could produce out of both. Very at the limit.
I like the fact that he really pushed Sebastian away from that second range, too. So, like, he doesn't want Sebastian, scouting his base, and Sebastian dips around, and this is good from Sebastian to get that information. Now he sees the skirm coming from that side. He's going to be like, hang on a second. Yeah. What's going on? And he's actually going to catch that skirm in a very vulnerable position over here.
I honestly could kill an archer. Hera should pull the Vil as well, so that doesn't happen.
Nice job.
This is really good for Sebastian. You're right. He should know that's double range. Now, he might be stuck in the meta in his brain, so sometimes it's hard to think logically about that, but that should tell him double range 100%. He'll tower his woodline. A little sloppy maybe to run into the archer shots, but he's safe at home, Dave. He's walling up. He's adding his own blacksmith so he can maybe get fletching soon. And look at Sebastian's Vil queue again, bro. He's got 7 Vils in queue. He's always queuing so much.
But he always knows. Like, whenever he needs the food, he goes and unqueues some Vils.
Yeah.
Like, he knows, dude, that they're in there.
His eco's really good, too. Hera gets fletching, but he only has 2 farms. It's not really
Hera's
the eco setup you want.
Here.
I think Sebastian's
got to be real careful with that.
Sebastian should kind of be okay with that. Love how Sebastian doesn't even garrison the TC because he has no faith it's going to hit anything.
Yep.
And Sebastian backs away. I wonder, okay, Hera right now, he doesn't see the flag, he doesn't see the army. There might be some paranoia that a sneak army's coming.
He hasn't seen any army.
Yeah.
He has no idea. And that sneak army is indeed coming on the other side. So we'll see how quickly he goes for maybe an outpost. He can always garrison in the houses.
Oh. Hera thought about running through and making Sebastian work really hard here, man. That army gets through, there could be some problems. But yeah, I'd like only sending the archers if you're Sebastian. I think Hera should sense this. Hera didn't know there was a tower here. He also didn't know there were skirms, so he runs through. He did know
there was a tower there. He saw it before.
Oh, okay.
He runs through anyway.
All right. Well, does he sense the counter
He's going to be at the back, but like, look at the 3 archers coming from Sebastian. Yeah, he senses it. He sent a skirmisher over there. He just knows, dude. Players at this level, they haven't seen an army. Instantly, spidey senses start to tingle.
Yeah. I wonder how much of that is the experience as well. Small assist from Classic Pro, because this is the precise situation that he was in against Hera pretty much with the archer counter. I think you could still kill that skirm. It doesn't have armor. And you could still potentially make Hera work. Hera's just going to run away now.
See, that's a situation where maybe Sebastian should have just run towards the skirm instead of running away. But, I mean, the archers aren't really going to get any value. Maybe he can hide them back here, and Hera's never going to find those. He is housed quite badly, so he needs to get that dealt with. But overall, a decent start for both. Hera's resources looking a lot better than Sebastian's right now, though. Just res in the bank, lots of gold available. If he drops the market, he could probably click up. He's actually going for a stable.
Well, his opponent's super heavy skirm and chasing him right now. So Hera reversing the order. We thought maybe it would be stable opening. But when your opponent's forced into the skirms, makes sense to mix in scouts behind it. On that note, though, really important Sebastian kept his archers alive, because that can help against the scouts. So as long as he doesn't advance too far, Hera might try and bait him a little bit to stay here. I think he'll be okay.
Sebastian actually has pretty decent res. He's also stretching out for the berries with Portuguese. That's really nice. And farm count is looking good for him. 15 on food. The farms anyway. 14 farms for Hera. The scouts might be a problem, but it's only 1 scout. Hera adapting once again.
Yep.
Sees that 1 scout is enough. Doesn't want to add any more. And see if he adds a market. He's got a lot of gold in the bank.
1 scout might not end up being enough. The archers are here. Sebastian getting some good hits on the skirms, and the scout gets pushed away. And if you didn't know the player reputations coming into this, and you just look at what the series has looked like, obviously Hera had a big eco lead in game number 2, but feels pretty even right now. Castle Age time should be identical. Both players will be playing on archers. Hera still hasn't towered, by the way, so the gold could be an issue at any point he gets hit in the front. And Sebastian dropping a market. And I think he'll buy some food to click up as well in a moment.
Oh, why is he going for the extra wall behind there? Well, he also has a gap in his... Oh, no, there's a bush behind that. Okay, bush B is behind the palisade wall on the left. But he's going for the secondary wall off.
Nah, I think it's a misclick. Weird. That's a misclick. I don't know Sebastian's hotkeys, but I've seen him put a random line of palisades on the map and delete them a couple times before, so I don't know why exactly, but...
Look at the stable positioning from him, too, at the back.
Dude, look at the outposts with Town Watch. How important is that? I guess it's a spearman on the left, but the outpost on the right is really nice. And Hera won't have that. But Hera's just healing up his army inside of his TC and waiting right now. They have so much respect for each other.
I guess the question for us now is, like, does Hera default back into the boom kind of play? Because Sebastian's going too stable again, which he did last game. And he really punished Hera. And if Hera goes for, 2 additional TCs trying to get into his comfort zone, we could see a repeat of him being stuck against the edge of the map with very limited resources and Sebastian controlling most of everything.
The thing is, Hera didn't even have scouting the previous game. He didn't even know what was going to be coming the previous game. His scout goes through, and I can't think of a single reason why one shouldn't wall the front of their base there. Hera can come through, get all the intel he needs.
Stable.
And now he knows it's double stable. Sebastian might be kicking himself now that Hera has that knowledge.
This is the part where Sebastian adds 2 more ranges and switches into cav archers. Because Hera's thinking it's gonna be scouts or knights.
Now Sebastian doesn't know that Hera's still committing to double range archers. Think about what he saw last. It was mainly skirms. So Hera going crossbowman and like monk, for example, could be really good here. He'll build the TC. It's in a good spot. He'll get his upgrades. And I think monastery instead of university could make sense for Hera. But then again, ballistics is also a pretty insane upgrade for your archers.
He's just hanging out. He's worried about the cavalry. He's worried about the skirms as well. And they're both just kind of chilling here.
I think Hera's position's pretty strong, though. Pretty large archer mass. Good scouting. He's working with the information. I don't think Sebastian's expecting to run into this many crossbowmen. He's advancing forward. They'll find out now that Hera has those, and Hera just backs away. Man, dude. This is like... If Sebastian wins today... Actually, I think regardless, every game might go imp from here. It just feels like they're both going to be in these situations where they make it impossible for the other to break. And Hera's certainly not out to win games fast. That's not the sure thing. The sure things take the eco approach. And here comes the army.
Lead skirm and Bodkin is about to kick right as Hera finds this army.
True. No armor.
No armor, though.
Yeah. Just the thing that doesn't feel natural to me right now is the double stable. And the reason Sebastian went double stable is because he saw Hera's 8 skirms or whatever, and he never saw the archers. Hera's double range feels very smooth.
The double stable is that Hera saw it so early before he got to Castle Age.
Yeah, that too. That too.
So just keep massing up crossbows, go ballistics, and suddenly the knights can't really do too much. Those crossbows are bugging.
I guess they were stuck and he clicked the gate and they couldn't make it there. I'm not sure. But Hera on the prowl. And Hera hasn't seen many knights. Now, this is where the knights don't give you a lot of value in the main fight. So they should be used on the sides, in my opinion. We'll see if Sebastian can do that. I see them on the left. And no ballistics yet for him. Still making knights. Starting to get relics, but no second town center. And Hera now a healthy eco lead.
There's the 3rd TC from Hera. So if Hera loses this army somehow, this massive crossbows, which he's not likely to do, he could be in trouble. But until that point, feels like he can hold this position. That TC is going to help him hold too. So really nice job from Hera so far. Sebastian's still looking for answers.
Hera.
And he's not going to find much with that raid.
Remember,
either.
Previous game, Hera was up against skirms, and he went like 5 TCs with his food eco that he had. This is where eventually this is going to build up towards a position to go knights. So he's getting the boom lead. He'll start to seed more farms now because he's had heavy wood and gold eco for crossbow production. Love the siege workshop. Love the TC position as well from Hera.
Yep. He's also seen the knights. He's quick walling them out. He could maybe trap these in, dude. He could trap these in. Sebastian gets out of there.
Yep, Sebastian sees the siege workshop as well. I mean, still just 1 TC for Sebastian. It feels like it might stay 1 TC as things stand. +2 armor even. So he's got full armor on the skirms. He's got the attack for the skirms. He's going university for ballistics. +2 armor for the knights. Like, this is ridiculous. And I will say, you are at your most vulnerable on a 3 TC boom against a 1 TC play. Because you're investing so much more into the eco. So see if Hera can hold, though. It feels like he should be able to. He knows about the knights. His crossbows are going back to deal with that. He just misses them. But Scorpion now, with ballistics, with Khmer, 8 range. We'll see the skirmishers for Sebastian. Okay.
Knights are coming in. Yeah. A little bit out of position there with the skirms and the scorpions, and it's a forward siege workshop from Sebastian. The crossbows are just busy at the back, and he's really taking advantage of that.
Yeah. That's right, and he didn't lose those knights either, did he? Ballistics is now on the way for Sebastian. 15 villager lead for Hera. Is he going to get overwhelmed again? Ambitious from Sebastian to send the monk forward like that. And maybe ambitious for Sebastian to save the 4 knights on the left, because it's a tough position to get back to. Hera's crossbows coming back forward. I'd love to see...
The Scorpion going down under the TC too.
Wow.
Nice job from Sebastian. I mean, the micro was excellent there with the skirms. He still kept the raiding party alive at the back, and that's what pulled the crossbows out of position.
This is where Hera needs his own knights. Like, this is where you've got 10 Vills in queue. You've got a massive Vill lead. Your farm eco is insane. You need your own knights in the mix with your crossbows. I like the Siege Workshop.
I mean, his own Siege Workshop is going to be beautiful here to fight off the Mangonels. But he needs something to push those skirms away. Because the Mangonels are going to be busy on the other side. Like you said, Knights would be perfect. Look at the eco. It's perfect for Knights.
He's got to spend his res, though. It's boom, boom, boom. You got to spend your res under pressure, and it's really hard to do. And I love this from Sebastian. He keeps moving into the main base from Hera, knowing that Hera's TC on the front is a liability then. So look, Sebastian's now hitting the stone at the same time.
The Mangonels have to come back.
Yeah, Mangonels have to come back.
These skirms.
Now, Sebastian, if he loses his whole army, this could be horrible for him, and he's clearly a little distracted. He'll lose the skirms. He'll take the Mangonels, but is that worth it for Sebastian?
He was also killing some Vills over on the right side at the same time with some Knights. He did lose Knights over there. 7-1 Eco KD is going to find another Mangonel there from Hera, but Hera gets the attack round off right before he dies.
Hera goes stables now. He wins the game. If he can spend those res, he wins the game. He's focused primarily on that Vill production and the crossbow micro. There was a bit of a risk in that, and Sebastian's micro is here, and it's working as well. Still 1 TC from Sebastian. I mean, why not? Clearly, army's the way to do it. He was behind an eco every game so far. This is building up towards a castle from Hera, and he drops another TC, bro. He's got a 30 Vill lead. He drops another TC. If there's a way to lose the game...
Oh boy, look at the wood. The villagers on wood, like they have to build that TC first.
Yeah.
Can't afford another Mangonel coming out. Only 3 on wood right now from Hera. Does win the Mangonel war though, which is great. And he's going to take almost a second one. He doesn't quite get it yet.
He should get it now. They'll trade 1 for 1. The Knights and the Skirms are doing okay, but it's just okay. It's never good enough for Sebastian to break Hera. Hera's Vill count is still rising. His Skirms, his Monks, his Crossbows are getting decent enough value. I still think it's like super greedy. I still think it could potentially be punished, but I don't think it's going to be here. Hera's got enough to drop this castle, and if he drops the castle, tough luck for Sebastian. Knight gets converted, and yeah, that castle's going up.
Hey, once again, Hera just toes the line, right? I don't think that was excessively greedy. That was like greedy, but not excessively so, and he managed to survive because he constantly had that crossbow mass. He never lost the crossbow mass.
Yeah.
And because he knew the double stable was there from Sebastian early, because of that brilliant scout, by the way, that he added, that got him so much information, and it's still alive, making sure Sebastian doesn't raid on the right. He was fully prepared for everything Sebastian was going to do. So a couple good moments there for Sebastian, but overall, Hera just played better.
Agreed. I think... So, yes, Hera spotted the double stable Knights, but I think Sebastian never had the eco to go Skirms and Knights in the first place. He was just very confused. He wasn't ever planning on going Elite Skirm. Then he saw the crossbow. Then he stopped making Knights. Then he had to invest all this time into Skirms. And, like, I know people are going to say, well, why was Sebastian only 1 TC? Well, because everything he made was just super expensive there. He went Elite Skirm, full attack, full armor. That wasn't enough. Then he went for the Knights full armor.
Plus 2 armor.
It's just like, and then this unravels on you. And then the longer you wait, the worse it is to boom, because why invest into your eco when you know your opponent's already ahead of you there? So I think that'll be the theme here. Hera shows that he's got that inclination to boom, responds, up 2-1. But overall, still, loved how active Hera was on the map this game compared to the previous game. I think if he keeps that up, we might get the scoreline that you were thinking.
If we think about this Civ matchup, like if this gets late, and they're both fully boom, I don't think this is very good for Dravidians at all.
I mean, you do have Halb, which Saracens don't.
Just go full Mamluk with monks behind.
Mamluk should be insane, actually.
With the monks area healing? Like, yeah. I just can't think of, like, I mean, Arbalest, I guess, but we've seen, especially lately, like, people really figuring out that if you get 40 Mamluks, There's no big ball of range units that's going to be able to stop that.
The main thing...
They just have too much HP.
The main thing I think Dravidians are going to lack here long-term is good offensive power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Hera wants to go for, like, cav and raid. And even though he'll do it...
No raiding units.
Yeah, it's not a great raiding unit, whereas the Saracens have the Hussar. So,
I mean, light cav with Wood Steel are still okay, but they die like dogs to everything the Saracens can make.
Them ignoring armor has very little effect. They still just struggle themselves. So we have the water here. Obviously, that's a big area that Dravidians excel. They have the carrying capacity on the fish, and then the navy, the sheer navy power, the Saracens also dominate. So I think it just comes down to how Hera ecos, and I'm kind of terrified to find out, dude. With how much Hera's been booming already this series, to get the extra carry capacity, population space from your docks, extra wood, like, I'm already envisioning the TCs. We might have another, like, 4 or 5 TC game for Hera.
TC on the stone, TC on that gold, then another TC on the stone, and then another one over on the right side, another one on the left side, and then about 5 more on the wood lines in his base.
But the thing that he could afford in the previous games was like, boom up, turtle up, you have gold in your base to do everything. Safe TCs, they don't give you access to long-term gold control here. So you do need to think about that. And so I think that's what Sebastian has to keep in mind. And the nice thing about Saracens is you yourself don't need the gold, because, or at least as much of it, because you can sell wood and food at better prices. So maybe galley opening for Sebastian and adapt, but I think Hera's got the better eco-civ. At a certain point, Saracens just feel incredibly strong compared to Dravidians.
We're going to have to look behind these rocks, dude, because T-West said he didn't make a change, but the last time I was watching this, I saw outlines behind the rocks.
Well, so he clarified, I don't know if he did it publicly, but I can tell you. So, as I said, T-West came to me and said, do we want to change it so there's outlines behind the rocks? And I said no, because I knew you wouldn't be happy with it, and because it's a nice little thing that people could do, you know, just hide behind the rock. Apparently, he accidentally pushed the change anyways.
Oh, I see. Accidentally.
So after you got tilted about it and screamed about it, then he said in the admin chat that he accidentally switched it. So I actually don't know. I didn't, like, ground him or scold him or anything. I don't know if he switched it back or not, honestly.
I think you ground him.
Sorry, my parents visited this week, so I'm like, I guess grounding was on my mind.
Dude. Also, I didn't scream about it.
You were okay. You were pretty upset.
I wasn't happy.
You were slightly beyond mildly perturbed.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
Whatever that.
Perturbed is a good word, dude. You're adding to your arsenal. I like it.
That's so condescending. Don't even.
I remember the first time you said behooves. That's great, dude. I still remember that. That was like, whoa. It's like I got punched in the face.
There might not be a word that I love as much as behoove.
Behooves is great.
Behooves it's a great word. It's just, I mean, if English isn't your first language, it's probably very confusing. But, it's such a fun word.
I love behoovering, dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, who doesn't? Double lumber camp for Sebastian, so it would behoove him to send some bills to gold now as well.
He's a behooverizer.
And there he goes. Off to the gold. Imagine that. He behooves.
Yep.
Loom is in queue, by the way, so he doesn't actually have it yet. Hera's scout took a bit of damage, which will be kind of annoying for him, and he'll go double dock. And is not on gold yet. Goes to gold now. Should be fine with his builds. Oh, man. Okay, so this is... We obviously have a game to talk about, but it's a galley opening, so we have a bit. So someone asked for your SAT score, which you don't have to answer, by the way. But...
My SAT score? We don't have SATs in Canada, bro.
What's it called?
We don't have a standardized, like, test in Canada.
I think it explains a lot. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I like how fast you backtrack.
Yeah, dude, I could hear you steaming. I could hear you thinking of the most savage thing.
I was gonna challenge you to like a GeoGuessr match or something.
I mean, don't challenge an American to geography. I mean, we might have our SATs, but that's not on it. But anyways, so the reason I thought that was funny is I wanted to tell you, I don't know what dumb thing I said, but my fiance, like last week, at one point goes, "Don't take this the wrong way, but did you ever take the SATs?" Right after I said something super stupid. I'm like,
yeah.
How am I supposed to not take that the wrong way?
Dude, I just heard that in her voice.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I could totally see her.
Exactly. And I deserved it. But, I mean, I took it the wrong way. Hera building a blacksmith now. And galleys will meet each other in the middle. The Saracen faster firing with the galleys is really hard to take advantage of right now. It's more so helpful in scenarios where you're just patrolling with large groups later on.
It also helps sniping fish. I think if you're diving in underneath, it helps you snipe them a little bit quicker. But overall, maybe not great. If you're patrolling in 40 galleons, you can really start to notice it.
They're both
really good advantage.
They're both being such nerds and attacking villagers with scouts.
Yep.
I like that. Hera kind of started it. Now Sebastian's like, I'm going to attack you. No, I'm not. Now I'm going to attack you, and just hits it. Just reminds Hera that he's willing to play that type of game. So 3 docks from Hera. Bigger investment, so in theory could win the water. But there is also the question of how much benefit do you actually gain. I think if Sebastian doesn't lose water right away, Hera won't be able to benefit from the fishing all that much, and things could be pretty fine for him here.
I wonder. Sometimes, like, you look at these galley investments on the middle and you think, okay, that's way too much, right? They have 20 galleys, the other guy has 20 galleys. But at the same time, like, you're kind of investing until your opponent stops investing. Because you know they're spending the same amount of resources as you, and you're okay with that stalemate.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, it's kind of a level of comfort to some degree, even if at the end of the day, it's not economically worth it technically for you. It's not worth it for them either. And the more you invest, if they're going to follow along with you, you're just kind of keeping it on the same level.
Well, so, I probably am just very wrong on this because we've seen all of these top players continue to invest. My feeling, though, is get to 8 and just stop. Like, build your market, build your blacksmith, seed some farms, get to Castle Age.
Yep.
And then, like, they take your fish, but hope they continue to add on ships and then just sneak around to try and snipe their fish at some point. They cannot take out your docks right now. They can only do that in Castle Age. And the benefit of winning water is to add fish. So I think Sebastian's kind of thinking that. I don't know. More than anything, he's being sneaky.
Hera's lost track of the Navy. He knows he's lost track. Also, they got each other down to 4 HP on the scouts, and they both ran away. They know how important the scouts can be here.
Yeah, true. They didn't take the risk. I think Hera backed away. Sebastian might have stayed in the fight. So they're both 1 hit away from death. This should benefit the Saracens to get to Castle Age because of the market. And holy market.
Minor market usage. Just minor. A little bit. Yeah.
And he should be able to
click
click up.
Snipe the fish.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Hera will probably take the fish as well. But now I really wonder, should they even make another ship?
Especially, also, where does Sebastian angle here?
Yeah, just micro in this little area, I guess. The best of your ability. Hera's getting close because he knows he wants to trap him. That's a smart play from Hera. He might lose 1 additional ship initially, but then Sebastian can never outmaneuver him.
I think that's fine for Sebastian, though. He took out the fish. That's the big concern. You've had yours for a little bit longer.
Yep.
And you still have your 2 docks. So if you suspect that Hera is rebooming on water with the fish, you go into like War Galley or something, get some fires and try and take that out. Or you just add in, instead of the wood being spent there, you just add it in on extra TCs.
Hera, will he build a TC on the golds? He also canceled 3 additional ships. He had more in queue. Thought twice about it. You can't actually take out the sea tower very easily with galleys, so you'd probably need to add fires. And Sebastian bringing villas to the left makes me think he will actually TC the gold area here.
I think the better question is, like, where won't Hera build a TC?
Well, I think Hera loves safe TCs, which is not really what this map offers you. So I'm wondering, I don't hate 2 TCs at home and then eventually fighting for map control for the gold. But too many TCs
Sebastian
off
just
the gold.
sniped the scout. That's actually really nice.
Ooh, where was that? Oh, was that on
That was from the galley, the 12 HP galley. As the scout went past, that's really nice. So Sebastian still has his alive. If he adds a monastery, he can heal that up, and he can stop the monks from coming out and snagging the relics. He can also take a look at when Hera's expanding outwards. And I don't think Hera is going to want to go for a barracks and a stable to replace that thing. So that's bigger than you might think.
I love Sebastian. He's an incredible player. I don't like the additional ships. Maybe though you force Hera to further invest into it and it evens out. Yeah. Because Hera adds 3 more ships in response. But
he canceled the other one. It's only one fire galley.
Yeah.
I think he has to make sure that Hera's not Omega fish booming. Once like he scouts that and sees there's no extra fishing ships, then it's whatever. Don't need to invest into him.
Hera TC number 2 still has the wood for TC number 3. He also dropped the monastery at home, and I like this. I think he also wants scouts. Yep. But he doesn't have food eco to really go for scouts, and he's going for war galley. Oh, dude, Sebastian baited him hard with that extra fire. Hera's like, I need war galley. I need to protect this.
Another dock.
Another dock.
He's making more fishing ships. He's probably going to go up to like 10, 12 fishing ships.
Yeah, that's good.
Because he hasn't dropped farms, right? So he's just planning on getting all his food from there. It's going to take time, though.
Still should be so smooth for Hera. Like that, the fish with Dravidians is so nice. There's all like, what's going to trouble you, right? You don't have your scout, which is kind of uneasy. But think of all the value he can get from the war galleys from the shoreline. He can take out houses. He can take out the blacksmith. Sebastian's hasn't had an eco bonus this game, except for the market.
Forward siege workshop for Sebastian. He's going to pressure that side. Let's see if he keeps doing it once he sees the TC here. He still doesn't notice that TC that Hera's building with the scout.
Hera saw the scout.
Okay, he sees it.
And now he sees the TC. So really good awareness from Hera that he noticed that. It could be a new scout. He doesn't know that's the one that was healed up. But makes sense, right? If you think you're behind an eco and you have control of one of the gold areas, make a move to try and pressure Hera here. And this is good because Hera's going to want time to turtle and build up military to take the sides. He's not really prepared for any type of push yet.
I think this is a really, really nice push on this angle. It kind of reminds me, you remember the Capwatch MBL game? Obviously, Capwatch pushed from both angles. Yeah. But, like, that was a crazy one on this map. And the side push just kind of almost threw MBL out of the game from Capwatch.
Yo also did it a couple times.
Push. Yeah.
Yo would always go, like, 3 TCs, forward siege push. There is a stable from Sebastian, by the way, so he might actually make some more scouts. About to get relic number 2. And Hera added the barracks, but never did anything with it. There's the stable now. So that's probably for some eventual scouts. But remember, things get crazy. Hera's got limited gold supply. There's 150 gold left in the gold he's mining. And then there's the 1,600 gold beyond his base on the right.
Hera's got to be careful he doesn't get his fire ships converted as well. Kind of a risk, right? Like, if you're fish booming, low numbers of Navy overall, and they're spread out. If you get a fire ship converted.
I love the patience from Sebastian. He's done this before. I think it was in like a Ravines game or something. He waited.
He always waits for 2 or 3.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was Wandering Warriors Cup. No, it was a houseboat game against somebody who was walled. I think Citeaux. Anyways, not important. But wait and surprise, and Hera sees the scout and is going to chase the scout now, thinking that's the only scout maybe that Sebastian can make, and Hera's being taken the wrong direction. So Sebastian wants him to go further away from the push. And Sebastian being annoying, Hera's villager blocking, and Sebastian getting a real good look at Hera's farming eco. We'll go for the monk.
From the Mangonels.
Hera doesn't see it.
Dead from the Mangonels already.
Hera saved the monk, felt good about it, but he didn't react. Nice shot from Sebastian. This is really nice push, Dave. This is, I mean, score is primarily water right now. There is a very minor eco lead for Hera. It's not extreme.
Yep. And Sanctity coming in for Sebastian. So this push is very dangerous.
And Hera's not on gold.
125 HP camels, soon to be 45 HP monks, and then we have 3 mangonels.
Yeah.
So what's Hera going to do against this? He's sending in scouts.
Yeah.
Okay, there's camels there.
Yeah, and there is a siege workshop. Sebastian needs to reposition his siege push so Hera cannot get the easy shots over that wood line. So bring them all over towards where that outpost is going up. TC repairing is not cheap. Hera does not have a very good monk civ, and it's just so much time without gold. He's just now headed over to drop a TC on gold. But Sebastian's had gold the whole time. The monk is down. Hera's abandoning the town center, and Sebastian is going to take the whole left side of Hera's base.
Redemption is in soon, and Sanctity is in already too. You might even think like about Atonement if you're Sebastian, if you're floating a ton of gold, and just have this unstoppable monk push.
Hera's still not mining gold. He's about to, right? Once that TC completes.
Oh, what a shot from Hera! 2 mangonels go down.
The monks will convert the mangonel if Hera's not careful. Conversion doesn't come in, but Hera essentially clears up all of the siege push. That buys him a lot of time.
This great defense there from him, and just a little bit too aggressive from Sebastian, right? Why did he push up north there? He maybe should have gone along the edge of the map instead. Gives him more room.
Well, hear me out, though. That did everything you want. You locked down your own side. You took out the TC. You hurt his eco. You go north now. Like, this doesn't even need to be a push anymore, in my opinion. If you have Lycav and a castle drop in the north, Hera's cooked. Hera's got nothing. Will Hera sense that that's where Sebastian will go? Hera has not outposted. And Sebastian had a Vil. He was about to outpost, saw the TC, and now he's coming with the Vils, but he has, like, no protection, dude.
Will Hera send anything down there? I mean, his protection is kind of the fact that he's got this big old army in the south.
Yeah.
And Hera's worried about that, right? But Hera actually going for an outpost of his own.
Yeah. That's big. I was just going to say, surprised that Hera did not drop an outpost. He's so vulnerable here, but it's because of the setup and the attack from Sebastian. Hera saves his monk. I like how Sebastian's making Hera work in defense right now, and the castle's on the way up. There's nothing Hera can do to stop that.
He's sending the Lycav north. He thought about it for a second, but they won't get there in time.
Hera almost killed his own monk.
Won't get there.
And Sebastian is on the way to Imp. 97 eco versus 95. Hera has water control, but that has not helped him in a huge way. And now, is Hera about to Imp as well? Hera's going to Imp as well. Wow.
Hera clicks up.
I mean,
like, he has to go for a castle defensively. He still can't really take gold over on the right side either.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that's really nice for Hera is that he still has water control.
Agreed.
Which is great on this map in the late game.
Everything that's valuable costs gold, though. And he has less than 1,000 gold on those 2 tiles, and all the other Vils that were mining gold are building the castle. I'm sure he can mine a little bit, but Sebastian should be able to do a lot more here, I think.
I think Sebastian should maybe even, like, just buy himself, like, 800 stone. Go for a castle on the left side.
Agreed.
Yeah, and then another castle on the right side.
Yeah.
So you can just tread push this right away, but you also need to defend this left side somehow because you can't be distracted by that while you're pushing on the other one.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, on one hand, you're thinking, like, you're contesting the other person's gold area and locking down your own. That should be beneficial for you.
He can do both. He can do both, dude.
Yeah, maybe. But not really. Like, Sebastian's not a player who necessarily think about these crazy tread pushes, right?
I don't think it's that crazy. You got 1,600 gold in the bank. Just shift, buy 500 stone, and you're fine.
Yeah.
You're Saracens, right? Like,
camels just on the shoreline, not a big deal. 1,800 gold for Sebastian. He's getting bought.
Why is he making another castle? Why is
he
not making another castle?
I agree. He should have 2 castles here, minimum. And a siege workshop for bombard cannons as well. Hera's going to drop another castle. It's going to be
Hera with a super forward castle.
That will never happen.
Sebastian.
Well, maybe it will.
I mean, he's turning around. He agrees with you. That's never happening. He saw the other castle.
Like, why?
Sebastian. He's like, no.
But like, that castle really made no sense. I'm glad Hera thought about that because you need your gold, bro. Like,
yeah.
I actually don't even like the defensive castle. You need this gold or you're dead. Am I wrong?
I mean, Sebastian also kind of wandering his way into this eco. He's going to see that defensive castle. With Dravidians, I don't think you are. I normally look at a castle like this from Hera and I say, okay, he's setting up the castle in his farming eco.
Yeah.
But with Dravidians, you're not going to spam Hussar. You're going to be making Woot Steel light cap that will never get to their intended target.
Well, you can
the damage.
You can go Skirm Pike for a pretty long time, and that's really strong. But you need gold for the siege, so I guess every bit of siege right now is the key for Hera.
Good mangonel usage against the Navy there from Sebastian on the left side too. He's just clearing up a little bit of it. I think he's interested in getting back on water.
Yeah, we might see a dock to do that. Hera also defending. He added quite a few light cav there. Defends from the light cav raid from Sebastian. Still maintains his crazy eco count. Don't ask me how. Sebastian has bombard cannons on the way. So does Hera. Hera 5 on gold. And that's been the key thing to think about right now. If he loses Trebs, if he loses bomber cannons, he's completely out except for the little bit of gold income from those 2 relics.
Dude, Sebastian should send like 10 more vills and just repair this castle forever. He's never going to run out of stone with Saracens.
Well, I think it's 2 castles versus 1. So if you lose this castle, it's actually kind of okay. I like the upgrades from Sebastian. Ballistics, Bracer, all very helpful. Mamelukes could actually go really hard here against the... maybe not. He extended forward.
Not like that.
Not like that.
No.
The castle fire from Hera was clutch. Hera's light cav, his bombard cannon micro is clutch. Hera takes out the Trebs. Are you kidding me? Sebastian's got the position, dude. Sebastian's got the position. Hera holding on. He's soon out of gold. Like literally right now, he's got 40 gold remaining to mine.
My question is like, what is Sebastian doing at the moment?
Making skirms.
Queuing up a couple bombard cannons, 1 Mamluk, 6 skirms, like still 13 vills in the queue, and he abandons that castle. But he's been floating so much stone, and he finally goes for another castle. It's up against the shoreline on the other side, so maybe considering going back on water, but like that castle on the left should have been up 10 minutes ago. This second castle on the right should have been up before he got up to Imp, right? Obviously, we're expecting greatness, but
correct.
One of the best players in the world.
Yeah, at this level, I think we've got to cast that way and talk about it that way. But I gotta say, like, now skirms are out with bombard cannons. Hera still is limited gold supply. If docks come up from Sebastian and he can retake water, Hera will start to lose there. And it's still circling back to what we said before, that the Saracen late game might end up being superior here if Sebastian can get more military on the field.
If he can get it set up.
Yeah.
Still trying to just get his skirm mass there. Siege engineers on the way. Hera has access to gold once more. What's Hera's total gold access at the moment? It's just that.
It's just that. That's it.
Just that.
And he can't take the left because he's running into like darkness. And I mean, Sebastian could even just kill those vills and that'd be successful here.
Yep. Or just kill the mining camp.
Yeah. Or take the Treb. That's so expensive for Hera. Oh,
Treb dead. He can't even shoot.
Hera is off of gold again. He's going for Galleon with well, a little bit more coming in on gold. Docks can come up for Sebastian. Dude, I swear, if Sebastian can just drop 8 docks right now and go Galleon, cannon Galleon on water, he wins this game.
Good work.
But he doesn't have the pop space to justify
and
it, maybe.
Keep attacking the castle and drain Hera of stone. He's going to have to spend gold. He doesn't have to buy stone.
Hera just lost 2 bombard cannons. Hera just lost 2 bombard cannons there that he was pushing the castle with. He only has 1 Treb now. 2 more bombard cannons towards the south. There's War Galley for Sebastian. And there's the docks.
More docks coming up here. So Hera's not paying attention to that because how could he? He has to send everything over here. The skirms are pushing back the bomber cannons and the crossbows from Hera. Sebastian needs to be really careful he doesn't get nuked in those choke points. But Hera is completely out of stone if Sebastian were to continue pushing. And we look at the gold from Sebastian with the Saracen market. He should be able to keep that castle repaired forever.
Yeah, 2 castles here. I know it seems like Sebastian could have potentially forced the issue, but the thing that he has is actually some necessary patience. And I'm seeing that now. If he would have committed more to keeping Hera off of gold 5 minutes ago, maybe he would have thrown. But he's just got his setup. He's still waiting. He's got his cannon number.
The goated tech right now is hoardings, I think.
Yeah.
For Sebastian.
Every player needs
it 100%.
Every player needs to be getting that so much more, man. It's so important. Like how frequently are castles changing games, right? Wow. What? Like, these two players are absolutely insane, dude. Absolutely insane. This is unbelievable. This is a completely different game than what we've been seeing in the other sets, it feels like. Hera loses another cannon. And the skirms on the gold villagers are pretty critical. And war galleys or galleons on the way from the Saracens out of those docks. So Sebastian might lose some control here, which might not seem like it's a positive. But if he can get over here with galleons, Hera could lose the entire shoreline soon to just Navy.
He's trying to pull these bomber cannons away, but the Vils are blocking it. This is just an ugly situation here for Sebastian. He tries to defend that castle, and he's getting rocked by bomber cannon shots in the center. However, the galleons are being massed. So he's just waiting for his navy to come and clear this up, and Hera's going to lose some cannon galleons.
Such a patient hold. Again, it's so patient. Like, he's taking losses.
The castle, the hoardings, masonry. You got to get it.
Dave, Hera's about to lose everything he has on the shoreline here. I don't even think he'll take the castle. And Sebastian is repositioned on him perfectly. Now he's going to push another castle.
Oh, no. Look at Hera in the south there. He's trying to go for archer ranges to push, but Sebastian's going to have the castle there if that goes up.
It should go up. Hera's castle might go down. Hera's bombard cannon gets smashed again. And Sebastian just keeps coming, bro. His castle's still staying up. And I've been saying it. And the galleons
are coming over. It's gonna stay alive. No, he doesn't have stone. He buys stone. It's gonna stay alive. It's gonna stay alive. The bomber cannons, though, for Sebastian now going down in the north.
This is crazy. This is just crazy. But Hera's not gonna have the gold. We've been saying it this whole time. He can make skirms all he wants, but skirms against Navy won't do the job. The castle's actually denied by Hera, but Hera knows I will lose now. And we go to the 5th game, and Sebastian continues to deliver. What a series, bro.
Dude, that villager dying is so cinematic at the end of the game. Hera calls the GG. He's like, oh, just can't complete the castle. Man, game 5, Hera at risk of losing his first S tier in a very, very, very long time. And Sebastian, I mean, just pulling out all the stops for this one. Dude, it felt like he was one step ahead the entire game. Hera did a great job responding, but...
Yeah, and I think, you know, if Hera were to lose this series, some things to go back to the drawing board on, right? I think the gold thing, I said it like 16,000 times, so you guys obviously know that that was a factor. Everything else is just honestly near perfect, and there's just very few people in the world that can actually compete, right? This is the first time they've ever played each other in an S tier, ever, by the way, and it's 2-2, so maybe a start of a new rivalry in our scene as well. But the last one, I think, ends on Hera's terms. It'll be on Jungle Swamp. That's his home map, where he has Gurjaras and Mayans available. Not civs that we've seen picked a ton, but I'm hyped, but I'm kind of nervous right now. What are we witnessing, bro?
Yeah, really good pushback there from Sebastian. I mean, damn, dude. I didn't come in here today prepared for this. That's for sure.
So game 5, best series of the quarterfinals, honestly. And we've got Sebastian with his #1 pick, Lithuanians, but he has to come to Hera's home map. Hera goes for Gurjaras. I feel like that's a civilization that's been slept on a little bit this season. What do you think about the Gurjara pick?
Gurjaras could be good here, right? You're thinking Lithuanians for Sebastian, so I have the camels to kind of counteract that. Good start as well. The problem with Gurjaras, unfortunately, is that they go for the mill, which means you can't go for the dock early. But Hera hasn't really shown much of an issue with that. Remember on the Acropolis game where he didn't really fish early? He added the fish later.
Yeah.
So maybe he's fine with investing the wood into the mill early and then having the dock go up like right as he's about to get to feudal age.
I think Hera, he's just going to want some early land control here. And even if he takes the choice that is possibly less optimal, I think that's actually okay because there needs to be a shift in mindset to get the ball rolling on land fast. Against Lithuanians, dude, even if they just play trash, if they go spear skirm in castle, you can't make knights. I mean, Gurjaras used to have such an awkward mid game against pike skirm. So I think that's probably in his mind. The difference here, though, to your comparison before, you can't actually, like, you can't really contest water here if you go mill. without it looking kind of wasteful, because your lumber camp's super late, your dock is then really late.
I mean, you could still kind of contest it if you like harass the fishing ships with scouts or whatever, or maybe spearmen or something.
True, yeah. Wow, man, people are just infatuated with Sebastian. Someone even said him pushing that deer even is so pro. I'm not sure about that.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure about that, but Sebastian deserves a lot more credit than he's been getting, that's for sure.
Ooh, Sebastian. Oh, that's weird. I sounded like Bullet there.
You did sound like Bullet.
We gotta pull that one better. We gotta pull that one back.
So, map-wise, I mean, both maps are relatively okay for the start. The acacia trees have a lot of wood. So 150 wood, they'll last a bit longer. The gold seemed pretty reasonable, the stone even. But, like, very curious on this. I would expect scouts here from Hera. But we have not seen Gurjara's played, so this is either an absolute masterpiece or maybe not a matchup Hera was hoping for. You know, alternatively, if Lithuanians were played somewhere else, Hera could have had Gurjara's versus Huns, and I would love that.
Yeah.
But Gurjara's versus Lithuanians feels like it could be trickier.
Did he know? I guess he had to know. I mean, Magyars are a potential here. Gurjara's against Magyars feels great.
Yeah, exactly. I think he thought Lithuanians would go somewhere else. Lithuanians could have been on Acropolis, for example. And instead it was Hindustanis there.
All right, Sebastian, gotta wall this villain. Can't lose this stock villager. Can't lose it, dude. Gotta wall it in.
Yeah, it's just
gotta wall it in, bro.
At this stage, you lost a vill earlier. You're always gonna dock. Okay, hold on. They see each other.
Loom is coming in. He brings the scout. Okay, the camel is not as good against the scout in Dark Age. I think it wins by like one hit in Dark Age, but in Feudal Age it really pops off.
You wanna know what's funny? Is that Sebastian's doing the same build that Hera did in Game 1, where he tries fast feudal and then adds the fish, but there's no dock from Hera. So, yeah, no bonus damage in Dark Age.
I think he's not going to be super surprised by no dock with Gurjara's. Just doesn't feel great, right?
Well, you can also garrison your fishing ships with Gurjara's.
Villager is coming forward, though, Tristan. So Sebastian just scouted the shoreline. He's going to go back again and re-scout it here. And maybe he finds this vill from Hera. He does. He sees it.
There's Loom.
Let's go, dude. That's great scouting there from Sebastian.
Okay, so there's Loom. You can't do anything about it. And once Hera's in feudal, Hera's scout will eat that scout from Sebastian. So Sebastian's got to get out of here. Sebastian's not expecting this uptime, and Hera's like, I think I'm faster. Yeah, you got to get that vill and you got to get the vill and the scout out of here if you're Sebastian, in my opinion.
It's actually amazing how quick Hera was up.
Yeah, really fast. Really fast. 17 pop.
Sebastian's up quick. Like, he's up fast, and Hera's just lightning fast. Minute faster.
It's just everything was on food except for what needed to be, and then everything shifts to wood to execute on this. Honestly think if you lose this vill and weaken the camel, it's not the worst thing ever. Hera's not actually attacking the villager, which is kind of funny. And Sebastian back at home, still no barracks. He's on gold as well, so we will see some ships here. There's the barracks for him. Hera will always delay this. He's not going to have the timing, the same timing as the barracks, but he has the faster fire ship here. And a weakened fishing economy for Sebastian should mean he'll lose probably both his fishing ships pretty quickly here. That's fine. Just give up on it.
Sebastian comes forward. He sees the barracks timing from Hera, so he knows there's nothing else coming his way. I mean, it would be amazing if there was. That would be the greatest build known to man. If he could manage to finagle that with the fire galleys coming out, but nothing coming his way, so he can still feel fairly secure on the land.
Fishing ships will go down. Hera still has his fishing ships exposed. And walls for Sebastian could make sense here. If you're expecting that Hera is going to be doing a lot of the same. I feel like, again, the Castle Age actually very strong for the Lithuanians compared to the Gurjaras. So I'm fine with that. Gurjaras, if they're not playing through camels or through their two unique units, they're just kind of generic. So
Sebastian finds the range right away.
Yep.
Before it's built.
I mean, dude, what a performance from Sebastian here today. So good. Would be heartbreaking, of course, to lose here, but I think that he knows he's on the right trajectory. And maybe he's the one. We've been wondering, like, who's going to be the one to topple Hera? Hasn't been Leary, hasn't been Viper. Insert other names here. Hasn't been. And Sebastian, first opportunity to do it.
So, like, Sebastian's Neo and Hera's, like, Agent Smith in this?
I guess?
Maybe Sebastian could, like, absorb him into it. That sounds weird. You know what I'm talking about, Matrix fans?
The demo could be an option here for Sebastian. But I think more than anything, you got to play towards good land transitions here. That's what Hera's known for himself. And he should know archers are on the way. He's got the range to go skirms. He's starting to wall up a little bit. Lots of hunt being brought in from Sebastian on this map, which has it. Hera normally won the transition towards those farms, but we haven't seen Hera at any farms yet. And I would love to know what Hera's feeling this very second, because this is not a position he's in that frequently.
I mean, it's not a Civ matchup we've seen a lot in this map either. And both of them opening archers. It's just anything can happen. That's what it feels like, right? Anything could happen here, and that has to be a little bit nervy in a game 5. Hera does finally clear up the scout from Sebastian. He goes for the second range now. Spearman is still chasing his camel, so he has to be careful with the camel at the back there. He actually might lose it. Hera might lose that camel unit for free against the Spearman. So maybe that tells you what he's feeling like. Obviously, he's busy at the front side, but that is not a usual slip-up there for Hera.
Well, is it a slip-up if the opponent's forcing it? We're just not used to it. No one can force this type of engagement to take Hera's attention away, because no one's been able to compete, and he's, of course, out-boomed everybody because of it. In the end, in the middle, I think this is really good for Hera, though. Hera will remain with some control on water. Not sure what that really gives him, because he's, you know, not fishing much.
Dude, food eco for Sebastian is a little concerning. I mean, it says he has 13 on food, but we look at not a single farm, right? 400 food in the bank. So he might feel like, okay, I have the setup to go Castle Age. You don't.
Yeah, but
you just don't.
But look at Hera's food eco. No farms either. He isn't fishing heavily. Sebastian gets attacked in the north. If he reacts immediately, this could lead to 2 archer kills.
He's got the archers. He's got the archers, yeah. And he weakened those before with the fire galleys.
Yeah. Hera sees another weak Vil, goes for the kill, sees the archers. Now, Hera didn't have great scouting this game. His camel was at home, so he doesn't really know what Sebastian's up to. And Hera is not full walled as well. So if Sebastian actually full walls here, he's doing what you said, Dave, adding the farms. I think he might make it to Castle Age a little bit faster than Hera, honestly. Also,
yeah, but, I mean, from his perspective, it's like, okay, I've had 400 food in the bank forever. Why is it not going up?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't have anything, dude.
A tiny detail, which I was showing but didn't talk about, is about 7 or 8 deer were killed by that spear, too, from Sebastian. So Hera's coming over to... There's only 1 deer remaining. All these tiny things can play a role.
Hera's got enough food to go up. He doesn't have the gold now.
And Hera's archers will see the market. Sebastian reacts. And Hera into the TC. Doesn't lose an archer there. Sebastian...
Nice job from both.
Will be up as well. No fishing eco.
Okay.
And it'll be a crossbow war.
Crossbow war. Does the extra Greek, because I would assume Hera's going to be the first one to add TCs, and that's confirmed by the fact that Sebastian has no stone yet. I guess the question is, like, does he get punished for the greed? At some point, does he try and go for a TC, and he can't produce military to keep up?
If Hera tries to boom in this scenario, I think he dies badly, because he still doesn't have a farm, right? Like, his food eco is barely going to be there for Bodkin. His food eco is barely going to be there for Crossbow. I think he goes all in here for a bit, but he hasn't really done that much. So
we know he can do it. We've seen it before.
Yeah.
Him, right.
It's such a. It's just like Hera's map is so punishable. If he doesn't have a TC beyond that wood line, I guess where those archers are, maybe then he's somewhat safe.
Still not a single farm from Hera.
He does have the fish, but like 2 fishing ships. He's got the berries, but he wants to save all of his wood for the university, I think. Or the TC, but I would say it's probably University. And by the way, for anyone who says maybe Shravamsha Riders against Crossbows, really don't think that's the play. You need a lot more food eco. You need the armor. It's like 70 food each. Eventually, that's a factor, but I don't think it will be here. Man, what a moment. What a moment. And there's the TC from Hera. The TC position could be something we talk about later. It is near stone, which might be on his mind to get to Chakrams. But he's getting Crossbow. He's getting Bodkin. And Sebastian...
That's all he can afford, dude. He can't even produce Vils. Like, he needs more farms.
Sebastian is turned into Mr. Yo here. Can we talk about these house walls in every single location?
I love it.
If you're going to go forward, you need that. And now
I don't
Hera...
like the fact that it's still, like, he still leaves gaps beside the TC. I think Hera's going to respect him a little bit too much to go in through there.
Yeah.
But just don't even give him a chance, man.
Well, the second...
How many times have we seen Leary dive in under a TC and then kill 20 Vils?
The second Hera sees the army isn't actually here, he's going to dive, I think. Like, Hera's going to wait, and if this army hits him, which it will, he may consider it. He also doesn't know there's house walls truly everywhere. But you're right. And there, that house tells you that there's no army at home. Hera will know.
Dude, Hera just ejected because he didn't have the farms. And this is something that I don't see anyone else doing. He just ejected his last herdable from that mill. So no longer consistent food production. He just needs food now.
Yeah.
It's really nice,
but
actually.
it's like at the limit, right? He's been able to get such a crazy crossbow count because he didn't add those farms until the last possible second. So it's pretty ridiculous. And Hera's crossbow micro continues to be pretty ridiculous, too. He's actually bringing his crossbows home now. So Sebastian's got some room to breathe. And Sebastian hanging with him, but it's just not working out. He's lost 3 units so far and he's killed 0.
Couple misclicks on the house as well from Sebastian, so he needs to back up. Still, more consistent eco overall from Sebastian with 16 farms right now.
Yeah, and you know what you can make with that? Skirms. And so Hera will have a big crossbow count. He may even get ballistics here, but fully armored Lithuanian skirms could start to be pretty strong. This is where, though, Sebastian needs to get that second TC up. He's pretty clearly struggled. I don't know if struggled is the word, but he hasn't prioritized that as much as Hera. That's a very Hera thing to do. And Hera diving in.
Plus, armor is going to benefit the crossbows quite a bit, too. Not just the skirms. Hera sees elite skirm. He's trying to take out these crossbows because by themselves, the elite skirms aren't too much of a threat. So
Hera needs an army. He needs an army beyond crossbows because these skirms are so fast. You can't run away from them, Hera. You just can't run away. And Hera's going to lose a lot here to Sebastian. He'll bring in more crossbows and the monk to try and help. But Sebastian should never leave this fight. He should snipe the monk and just stick around here, man.
Plus 2 armor is in. Plus 2 armor is in. He's going to apply pressure on the wood line there from Hera and also can range the gold over there too with these crossbows. And then Hera can't really deal with the skirms with plus 2 armor. Hera does have ballistics, which Sebastian is not going to have. But I don't know if it's enough, dude. He needs something else. He added the stable for Shravamshas.
Yep. Our Shravamsha is going to be good enough. They're pretty food heavy. Hera, a lot of idle time right now. Lots of pressure off of his resources. 2 TCs. Nice Vil lead. Losing a couple now. And now the second TC behind this for Sebastian. He just saw the Shravamsha, though. So needs to back up.
And he notices ballistics. So things are getting a little bit uncomfortable there. He is going for the second TC finally.
You know, like all those times I was saying, like earlier, I'm like, okay, now you go Knights, right? And Hera always goes for the third TC. I could be completely wrong, but I think you go Shravamsha Crossbow, you could push out across the map and kill this right now. If you're Hera.
I mean, it depends on how your positioning is, right? Because those Shravamshas, while they tank damage, once the armor is gone, they're also very frail.
Agreed.
Very frail.
Hera's got a nice eco lead. Could make it even stronger. Stable now for Sebastian as he's thinking through his options. Was not expecting stable. That's kind of interesting, but maybe he'll go crossbow skirm knight. And just
took a lot of bills off the food, man. He took a lot of bills off his farms. So, like, I'm not certain he's gonna long term have enough food for Knights, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. He could. Yeah, he just fixed that. Pulled the bills off of gold to go to the farms. So when he moved them away for the TC, he knew he will have 2 relics at least. And if he goes Knight skirm, Kind of like that against Sravamsha Crossbow. Now, I would want Ballistics to be in.
TC.
You know, it's actually so critical.
You
know, it's so critical for Sebastian. And guys, it's critical anytime you're up against the Gurjaras. You actually want your eco to be walled. Because those Sravamshas aren't necessarily that good against military, in my opinion, these days. But they're insane against eco because they're so fast. And no gates, no walls in the front there for Sebastian could come back to haunt him.
Adding the university, so he knows he needs ballistics if he wants to get involved in a micro war against Hera. And Hera is just kind of chilling, man. He probably knows he's ahead on Vil count right now. 68 Vils versus 56 from Sebastian. 2 relics now from Hera, and obviously 3 TC against soon to be 4 from Sebastian. So Sebastian adding in the 4th one.
Crazy. Hera loses a Vil, has +2 armor on the Sravamshas now. So if this unit is if it does as advertised, this should be a really good fight for him. That armor should be insane combined with the dodging. But the monk is there. Skirms are still there. Hera losing some crossbows. Hera doesn't want to engage. He lost the Sravamsha. The Sravamsha's going to just go snipe the monk now. But I can't help but feel like that was okay for Sebastian.
Yeah, that was not great for Hera. He lost a lot of his crossbow mass there. And I don't think he really needed to either.
Well, I will say, if he clears out the ranged unit mass from Sebastian, though, he can just go camel instead of Sravamsha. Yeah. So I think that's fine. It's not the biggest ranged mass for Sebastian now. But he's got 2 relics. He's making knights. He's 4 TCs. So he will play catch-up in the economy. Doesn't have the armor Hera has. So the crossbows are actually taking out those knights pretty quickly, and Hera finds a nice engagement on the skirms. Finally.
He still lost a couple crossbows, though. He didn't kill them all yet, and the knights are trying to take out the Sravamshas. 2 monks converting. He gets 1, and that's it. He only gets 1 conversion. Crossbows still being pushed back. Look at the eco upgrades, by the way.
Yeah, really good.
Hera only has double bit axe.
Oh, wow. Yeah, true. I mean, we're so used to Sebastian getting the text. That's the one thing you mentioned before we even saw any of the games. It's like, his technologies are absolutely unreal. And now +2 armor. So he will have +2 attack from relics before accounting for attack upgrades. And Hera... Well, Hera's got the armor, and then Hera has the bonus damage from the Gurjara camels. I still really like Hera's position with military. And I especially love the Sravamshas peeling off. There's no need to have the Sravamshas in the main fight anymore.
Yep. Dude, if there's in 3 to 4 minutes from now, a whole round of Hera farms are about to expire, 20 of them.
He's going to get
It's going to be a brutal moment for him.
He's going to get some really good fights, though. He will be fixated primarily on the fights all the time. There he is. Sebastian didn't see it, Dave. Sebastian didn't see the Sravamshas. It was all at the same time. Hera's kept him busy. Hera will see another monk. He could maybe snipe. Sebastian kind of falling apart. The TC was a liability. And Hera's defensive castle, his additional stables, so good. This would be the time where he could double check the eco upgrades. And we see wheel. We might see handcart, but man, this fight is so good for Hera.
Yeah, Amel's just fighting up against the knights right away. Sebastian feeling like he needs to press through this. He's trying to clear up the crossbows. His monks went down, and Sebastian knights are all going to fall here. I don't know why he hung around for that fight.
He had to.
It feel like something he needed to take, but at the back, the Sravamshas are still killing.
It's so bad. He needed to win. Bills. He knew it. He needed to win the fight. It was that bad. He had to win it. If he didn't win it, it was never going to get better. Hera through with the Sravamsha Riders. His Vil count just been unreal. Who needs eco upgrades, right? He's still collected more. And this could be the moment Hera sends himself to the semifinals. It's going to be tough, man. Honestly, if this is game 1, I think we see the GG already. It snowballed on him that quickly.
Wow. He was in such a good position earlier, too. Well, I mean, we say good, but an even position with Hera is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hera now sells 600 stone. Sebastian calls the GG. Wow.
What a series, dude.
Hera goes through.
What a series. I mean, I'll say the same thing that Nilly said when Sebastian and Viper were playing in the round of 12. He said it felt criminal that one of the players wouldn't be playing in the tournament anymore after the series. That's what happened, and that's what happens here again. Sebastian loses in the quarterfinals, maybe against everyone's favorite for the whole thing. An amazing performance from him, but also a reminder of what Hera's capable of. And I love the way we finished the series. It felt like if it was too greedy and if it was too much booming from Hera in earlier stages, he had the perfect balance here with the all-in Castle Age army.
Really, really nice, man. Like I said, he learns, right? He gets punished by something, and he can play all different styles.
Yep.
So he just gave up the early dock, goes for the mill, takes back the water, and then just plays army. And
what was
a slower kind of boom up?
What was kind of crazy to me though was like the 0 farm double TC maximization. Well,
you know how he did that? You know how he did that? He had the 8 herdables in the mill, and he kept ungarrisoning them. So he got the food early, and then he kept just taking the herdables from the mill until he had nothing in there, and then he added the farms.
But still, it's like that can go wrong so easily. Usually you're thinking you want a couple farms. Like you want 4 or 5 farms, then you can go for the TCs. But he was just able to get the TCs.
Living on the edge, man.
And live on the edge with the ballistics timing. That was sick. I think we saw the best gameplay from Hera in the 5th game. Sebastian, I love watching you, dude. Keep it up. Seriously, you've had a very short career so far. I expect nothing more from you if you ever hear this. And a lot more people putting respect on Sebastian's name right now. So, Dave, I don't know if you can stick around for it, but I have been doing interviews after the quarterfinals. We're good. All right. I'm here. Sorry. Hera, you were fast in the game and you were fast to the interview booth. Congratulations. How are you feeling after that series?
Thank you. I'm feeling very relieved to get through that and hopefully live on to fight another day.
If I'm not wrong, I'm also sensing some exhaustion, which is kind of rare from you.
No, I'm not. I'm actually fine. It was a busy day with other things, so maybe that. No, I'm chilling. It's just 5 games. I can go another 5.
Okay, cool. Well, I gotta ask, how'd you feel when you saw the bracket? You knew winner of Viper Sebastian would meet you in the quarterfinals. What were you thinking then? And then what were you thinking when you saw Sebastian's games and coming up prepping for this series?
I think this was the hardest match for me up until the finals on paper. Obviously, I have Nikov next. Don't underestimate him, but I felt like Sebastian or Viper was the strongest player that I can face in the quarterfinals. So I was definitely a little worried going into it, but I prepared well, and I was happy to pull the win.
Sick. Dave?
Is this my... Oh, this is my... Okay. Sorry, I thought this was your show, dude.
Nah, go ahead.
I'm not prepared, All right, game number 1, Hera. I think it was Acropolis, right? Mm-hmm. You went for Italians there against Hindustanis, and most people have kind of been picking Hindustanis on that map, or I think most people would favor them. What was the thought process there with Italians? What was your game plan going in?
Yeah, I felt like Italians are. I played them before on that map. I feel like they're pretty good for what you want to do, which is like up fast and play for the lake. You save a little bit of res, and I like the Italian late game. I think that's the main reason I like them on that map. So it felt like a decent pick. But obviously, I think Hindustani should be favored there.
Okay, and then you went for like 5 TCs, or no, you went 4 TCs, and every time he killed one, you just replaced it with another one. Like, at what point did you realize you were 40, 50 vills ahead and you were really comfy?
I realized after he got the siege push going and my score kept creeping up, so I was like, okay, I have a really big economy lead. I just have to not choke it, and I was playing very patiently, maybe a little too patiently, but just didn't want to lose that game because I knew I had a guaranteed loss on shoals coming up, and didn't want to lose another one. But it felt like it was still a messy game, but I did enough to win it.
All right, so then he ended up going for cross game number 2. And I mean, we've seen so much variation in crossplay across these sets, right? We've seen people YOLOing vills to every pond and playing wide open. We've seen men at arms. We've seen forwards. So much. Explain the logic behind your openings. What were you worried about from Huns? All that.
Actually, my opening was probably that game on cross is probably the most perfect scenario I can ever hope for going into like minute 15. I felt like I was winning I had my lake safe. I was winning the left side lake. I know it was 2-2, but I felt comfortable. I had my walls down. It was really good. And then, yeah, I just had everything that I wanted. And then later on, I just, I don't know, I just randomly choked it. I think I went longswords. I need to invent a machine that just like drops a hammer on me every time I go longswords, just to wake me up a little bit.
I mean,
dude, you had a castle for samurai too. They just look cooler as well. Like,
I wanted to go pikes, and then I was like, hey, pikes don't work because then I have skirms, so I just want longswords. But it's just horrible. That unit is literally worthless. I spent like $2,000 on them, and then I just sat there with them like 20 longswords, couldn't do anything. So that was brutal, man. That was one of the biggest fumbles I've had in a while.
I mean, it's been many, many years since the notorious Hun longsword game. So maybe like once every like 4 or 5 years, you just need a reminder.
I need to do it once. Yeah.
So yeah. So now in like 2030, it'll happen again, and then no more for another 5 years.
Just have to survive. Yeah, exactly. Just have to survive.
I mean, in hindsight, though, you had a crazy boom. Like, what would you have done differently, though?
I think I just needed a defensive siege, but I was really stubborn that I had the forward siege, and I have a rule where I don't make more than one siege workshop for whatever reason. So I was just really stubborn. I just need to go second siege at home, get some more siege out. And just stabilize, hold off. I think I was up 20 or so villas at that point, and I feel like if I just played to imp, I would be completely fine.
Just like imp Arbalest, defend with siege, yeah.
Yeah, and just push out after that. You know, Haubskirm is good, but not when you're getting trebbed. So if I was able to be the guy trebbing with Haubskirm, that's really good. That's a winning move.
Got it.
So you said that you considered shoals. I know the Rocky Forest game was great, but not much to talk about there from my end, I think. But shoals, you said, you know, I had a guaranteed loss there. You knew that coming in. Did you know what the Civ matchup was going to be? And knowing that you have a quote unquote guaranteed loss, what are you like? What sort of Hail Mary play are you trying to make there to get the win with your Vidians against Saracens?
Well, I'm exaggerating a little bit when I say guaranteed loss. It's just that I haven't really practiced that map much. Going into it, I knew I just wanted to win water, and it was going good. Like I did win the water. But it's just really awkward. Like, to push on that map is just so difficult, especially with all the pathing issues that are in the game at the moment. You're pushing on a side with there's gold, there's trees, you know, there's water, there's marsh. It's just so awkward to use your units on that map, and I feel like if it's not the map that you're ready for, it's just really difficult to play. And obviously he had a plan prepared for it. He took the initiative, and I just couldn't. I felt like I had a good advantage at some point, but I couldn't figure out what to do, sadly.
I think you had a villager lead, but he was controlling absolutely everything. It was really tough for you, I think.
Yeah, exactly. I felt that.
Nikov practicing shoals as we speak, by the way. as he hears Hera describe it that way.
I talk too much at interviews. What can I say?
Yeah. How dare you share information? Well, okay, and then I think that moves us directly into. Oh, I think we skipped the Rocky Forest game. Maybe I don't remember the order.
Yeah. The Khmer against Portuguese game.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Hera is your number one pick. It has to be the Civ and the map you're most comfortable with, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So not many questions like there, I guess.
It was just a pretty standard game. It was a really fun one, back and forth, but it was always a little bit in my favor.
Game 5, Gurjaras. Was that something you were? Obviously, the drafts are a little bit more extensive now because of longer sets. And more civs, but I hadn't seen it before. So were you hoping for that matchup, or were you maybe hoping for another matchup when you pick Gurjaras?
Gurjaras are just decent against any Cav civ. So like against Lithuanians, it felt pretty good. But I think the main reason was that I just I had Italians and Gurjaras, and I needed Acropolis civ and Jungle Swamp civ, and it felt like Gurjaras would be better on Jungle Swamp. You have a little bit more food, so you don't need to eat the sheep. And it felt smooth. Probably could have been a bit better, but it did enough.
I mean, it looked smooth.
Yeah, definitely.
When you went for the opening build there with Gurjaras, you went up super quick with the mill. Is that something you've practiced in the past, like the mill into the early dock with like 16 villager uptime, or was that just kind of a little adaptive?
No, well, that's what I like to do on those maps, really, just to be able to contest the water. Especially when you're up against Lithuanians, he's got the possibility to up really fast. He didn't go for it, and generally speaking, you don't have to go for the fast uptime because you can just easily give up water. But it's just, I think it's really annoying to lose water on that map because then you can't pass to the center of the map, which is a bit uncomfortable. But I think he did a good job. He gave up water and he full walled instead. So he had like really reasonable compensation for losing water. But yeah, that build just gets you to contest or win water fast, and that's the reason I go for it.
I think you also had a few moments there where like you had no farms and you had to just use the herdables left in your mill. Like it was a last ditch kind of I need food right now.
Was
it was
insane.
Interesting to see. Yeah.
Did you feel...
Yeah, that's something I've been developing lately, actually. It's something I learned, like, I was, like, doing a few builds on stream. I even made a couple of videos about it, where you can, like, actually pull the sheep out with Gurjaras, and you get a really, really, quick uptime. Because the sheep kind of give diminishing returns as the game goes late, so I think just getting it for a little bit of a spike feels nice.
Did you feel like it was, like, risky on the limit there when you're, like, dropping the second TC and didn't have farms yet? Like, it ended up... It feels like you had it nailed down, but at least in most cases, even in Sebastian's cases, maybe because he didn't have a fish or two, but like he transitioned a little bit more in the way of farms before some other things. Just curious how it felt, or were you just like, I've got the balance?
I think it felt smoother than it looked, probably just because we were in a very aggressive game. So as long as I'm not like perma idling my TC, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I have to go back and watch it to see what the Vil count was looking like, but as long as I was able to maintain either a 5-vil lead or within 5 vils with him, I think that's good enough. And it felt like it's just good enough for me.
Okay, well, I mean, your next opponent is Nikov, who you know very well. You guys go way back. Nikov's had a crazy run. How do you feel going into that series? And just like the rest of the bracket, right? It's been a pretty crazy season with some upsets and some of the other sets. So give me your thoughts and expectations for the big weekend.
I'm excited to play against Nikov. I'm actually really happy it's best of 7. I think that really favors me, so I'm excited to go into a best of 7 against him. And I mean, I don't have the craziest expectations, but I just hope to win the tournament and take it one step at a time. But at least I guarantee myself 2 more sets to play. Even if I lose, I have the 3rd place match to look forward to. So, there is that.
Sick, dude. Dave, I don't know if you have anything else, but for Hera, it's been a crazy series, so we'll let him get back.
That was so humble of you, Hera.
So humble.
Yeah, you're not fooling me, bro.
Yeah, at least I play another set. At least I play another set. I've just won like 8 or 9 S tiers in a row, but at least I get the 3rd place match. Come on, bro.
You're not fooling me with that. Come on.
Okay, the problem is, I get what you guys are saying, but the problem is, think of it from my perspective. If I get anything besides the 1st place, it's a bad result. That's like the worst odds to ever have.
You gotta set yourself up mentally. Yeah.
Like winning the 9 S tiers, it's like, okay, it looks like on paper I'm the favorite every set, but they don't help me in the actual set. Like, it's not like I start with an extra bill because I won the last 9 S tiers. So it's like, I have some momentum and I'm probably the favorite, but at the end of the day, it's like one set on that day. Single lim, that's it. You lose, you're out. So it's tough. I like to just kind of manage the expectations so I don't go in like, oh, I have to win or else it's over. It's better for me.
Interesting. Hera managing expectations. Well, I like that. Yeah, because you don't. I guess it could help so things don't snowball on you after something doesn't go well in a series or something. So
exactly. Like I remember, and the last thing for me, like I remember there was like one Red Bull, I think Red Bull 6, where I went and I was like, yo, I'm the best player in the room. Like I'm not even gonna drop a game. I felt so confident going to the semis, and then as soon as I lost the first game 1, because I had such high expectations for myself, I kind of like fell apart. I started getting nervous. Dude, I started choking. So it's like a mental thing.
Hera, I've had low expectations for years, and I'm not winning tournaments. What the hell?
You need to pair. You need to have a good pair of hands with it. That's why. but T9, you have a decent pair of hands. You have, like, honestly, give me 3 months, you and I, and you'll be top 32, my friend.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. I like how you saved that by like, you just need me. You can't do it alone.
No, of course, no, it's you and I boot camp, man.
Yeah. All right, maybe someday. I don't know about that, but Hera, thanks again. Best of luck this weekend. I had a lot of fun with the interview as well, and thanks for bringing your best again today, dude.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. See you, chat. Have a good rest of your day as well, and enjoy the rest of the tournament. See you guys later.
Peace out, bro.
See you.
Peace.
All right, Dave. What a series. Probably should have asked, and maybe there's plenty of time for that. Ask Hera in the future what he thinks about Sebastian. I think he said many times about how insane he is. I'm almost bummed for him because it felt like this could have been his moment, right? But Hera showing yet again what he's capable of. So big weekend to semifinals. Just want to leave with your thoughts. We have Leary versus Dark. Dark has like been just the underdog the entire tournament, destroying people. And then we have Hera versus Nikov. Do you think it's a weekend of the favorites, at least in the semis, or do you think maybe some of these underdogs have a trick up their sleeve?
I mean, I'm just happy that, whoever loses, at least we get to cast a third place match.
Oh, true. Yeah. We get to see them again. I mean, you're joking. You're joking. The Hera. Okay,
I can't believe you said that.
Hera he goes in with he even prepares for the interviews. Maybe it's like, how can I say this? When they ask me how I think this is gonna go, when I think I'm gonna beat everybody, how do I say this?
All right, yeah, Leary versus Dark. I mean, it's gonna be tough for Dark, right? We saw Sato really struggle against Leary today. I thought the one win he had today was amazing. The double monastery opening on Fortified Clearing was crazy good. But Dark has been on a warpath, so this is the final test. If Dark beats Leary, I mean, this is one of the tournament runs of all time. In any game, of all time, dude.
If Dark wins the tournament, 100%.
It's the craziest tournament run ever made.
He will then have
beaten. Look at this list. That would be.
He will beat everybody potentially.
Top 5?
Yeah, if Hera beats Nikov and then Dark beats Leary and then Dark beats Hera, it would be in the same tournament. Dark will have beaten Viper, and then everyone in his group except Hart, then beat Yo, then beat Tata, then beat Leary, then beat Hera. That would be insane. Yeah.
That would be crazy.
But Leary just felt inevitable today. But I'm gonna say this, Sato, you could see in Sato's openings and his draft even that he was like, I'm not as good, and I need to win in certain moments. And you don't beat Leary that way. You need to be better all around. And Dark didn't really, it's not like he beat Tato and Viper and Yo with these all-in strats or the other player making big mistakes. Every game went to Imp. Every one. He was just out-macroing them and out-booming them and out-controlling the map. So I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I think, been saying it the whole tournament, I think Leary and Hera big favorites, and we might have another Leary-Hera final on Sunday.
Yep. I mean, but the last time Hera and Nikov met in a best-of-7, what happened?
It was best-of-5, unless you're thinking of something else.
No, it was Wandering Warriors Cup.
It was best-of-5.
That was best-of-7. Was that a best-of-5? I thought that was best-of-7.
The one game was so long, it probably felt like a best-of-7. But
that is true, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. It felt like it was going forever.
It was a 3-1 for Nikov, yeah. And that's definitely something that may be living in both players' minds there. So, cool, man. Well, thanks for the cast. Looking forward to doing more. I'll hit you up, obviously. And have a good one, dude.
You too, man.
All right, we'll see you.